Okay, good morning, everybody. I call the January 27th, 2026 meeting of the DuPage County Board to order. I invite everyone to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Evans, will you please lead the pledge? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now invite Moti Minha Adine, I'm so sorry, from the Darius Salem Seminary in Lombard to lead us in the invocation.
I'll begin by reciting the opening chapter of the Quran, a prayer, and then a prayer in English. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. As we gather here today, we begin by acknowledging our shared humanity and by expressing gratitude for the opportunity to serve the people of DuPage County, and with respect for the trust that the public service represents. O God, source of wisdom, justice, and mercy, we ask for guidance for all who serve this county, elected officials, staff, community leaders, as we carry the trust placed in us by the public. We ask for your guidance today as decisions are made that affect the lives of families, neighborhoods, and communities throughout DuPage County. Help us remember, O God, that leadership is a trust, authority is a responsibility, and service is its highest purpose. Grant us fairness in judgment, sincerity in intention, and integrity in action. Help us listen with openness, speak with honesty, and act with care for the impact of our decisions on the lives of others. Grant clarity to our minds, integrity to our intentions, and fairness to our judgments. Help us to listen carefully, to speak truthfully, and to act responsibly. Inspire our leaders and public servants gathered here with wisdom that is balanced, compassion that is sincere, and courage that is principled. Inspire a spirit of stewardship over public resources, compassion for residents of every background, and dedication to policies that strengthen families, protect those most in need, and promote the common good. May the work undertaken today advance justice, encourage cooperation across differences, and contribute to the safety, prosperity, and well-being of all who call DuPage County home. Let wisdom guide every conversation, integrity shape every decision, and respect define every interaction. With gratitude, humility, and hope, we offer this prayer. Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Deputy Clerk, please take the roll.
Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert.
Here.
Member Dessart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia, Member Heather, Member Honig, Member Krajewski, Member LaPlante, Member Martinez, Member Ozog, Member Schwarzy, Member Tornatori, Member Yu,
Here.
And Member Zay.
Okay, today we have a proclamation celebrating Muslim American Heritage Month, and I'd like to invite Member Sadia Covert and Member Sabah Heather to the podium with many guests that they've brought. So please come up, whoever's here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Some of you know I know by names, others I'm happy to meet today, so welcome. Okay, today we celebrate Muslim American Heritage Month. In December of 2021, Governor Pritzker issued a proclamation recognizing January as a month promoting awareness and celebrating the contributions of Muslim Americans in our state. We are happy to welcome members Covert and Heather to the podium with their guests. Allow me to read our proclamation, and then we'll ask our guests to say a few words. Okay. Whereas Muslim American Heritage Month provides an opportunity to honor and celebrate the invaluable contributions of Muslim Americans to the cultural, economic, and social fabric of the United States. And whereas the Muslim American community has enriched our society with their achievements in education, science, medicine, technology, arts, public service, and numerous other fields, exemplifying excellence and commitment. Whereas Muslim Americans have played a pivotal role in fostering interfaith dialogue and promoting mutual respect and understanding, strengthening the bonds of unity in our diverse community. Whereas this month allows us to reflect on the shared values of compassion, equity, and justice that unite us while celebrating the rich traditions and history of Muslim Americans. And whereas Muslim American Heritage Month serves as a platform to increase public awareness of the achievements and history of Muslim Americans, furthering cross-cultural understanding and appreciation. Whereas the vibrant contributions of Muslim Americans in DuPage County reflect the strength of our community and the importance of embracing our shared humanity. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the DuPage County Board do hereby proclaim January 2026 as Muslim American Heritage Month in DuPage County and encourage all residents to honor the rich history and many contributions of Muslim Americans. So move it. Okay, second. Okay, motion carries. Enacted this 27th day of January 2026 in Wheaton, Illinois. Okay. I'm not sure who you're going to give this to. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Conroy, and thank you, DuPage County Board colleagues, for passing this proclamation yet again another year. This proclamation was passed in 2021 in the state of Illinois, signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker. We are very proud that we represent, DuPage County represents so much diversity in this county. We are blessed to have so many wonderful people. I do want to, I wanted to know from IT, actually, do we have somebody on Zoom? Okay. So we do have a few speakers for you. I'm going to be very brief today. You all know me, so I'm going to be very brief. I want to thank everybody that's here today. This is a bigger crowd from last year. Wonderful. It's so nice to see you, and thank you all so much for braving the snow and the cold to be here today. It just shows your dedication. A lot of these people that I know here, these are the people that do the work. These are leaders in this room. Each and every single one of these people are leaders here. I want to, I'm just going to go down the list. We will have a few speakers, and I want to thank Mufti Minhaj. Thank you very much for, oh, right. Mufti Minhaj is Minhaj is the president of the largest Islamic seminary in North America and South America, and it's right here in DuPage County. It attracts international attention. It is an amazing mosque and seminary. I've been to it. It looks like a mosque from Turkey or something. Like, it's amazing. And his dad was actually the founder of it and built this amazing place. And I believe they have a workout room, too, for girls. Very amazing. So thank you so much. And then I want to also welcome another Mufti, Mufti Fahmi Abdelkawi. Welcome from ICW, Islamic Center of Wheaton. I also want to welcome Khalid Granawi from Islamic Center of Wheaton. Raise your hand. He's a board member from there. Thank you for being here. Khalid Lul was supposed to be with us. Maybe we're having technical difficulties. Khalid Lul is representing MALA, Muslim American Leadership Alliance. They're actually the organization that actually initiated and passed this proclamation at the state level. They've also passed Muslim American Heritage Month in states like Texas, New Jersey, New York, and several other states. It is not federal yet, but one day I hope it will be. inshallah. And inshallah means God willing, by the way. So, and we have Ashfaq Sayed here. He is the first Muslim American city councilman in Naperville to be elected, and also started with, he's a member and a leader from Islamic Center of Naperville. So he's been around for a while, well before elected office. We also have Brother Ayman Beg, who is also an amazing leader at Islamic Center of Naperville, doing a lot of heavy lifting and hard work. He's actually known me since my college and law school days, so if you need to know anything about me. and Ashfaq knows me during my law school days. And then we also have Dr. Atif Fakhruddin, who is a board member right over here from Islamic Center of Naperville, which is my district. And thank you for your service on the board as well. Do we have Brother Syed Ahmed Salman? Thank you. Board member of Syed Abdullah Syed, board member of Islamic Center in Naperville, newly elected. Welcome. Thank you. Nice to meet you. We have Civic Coalition, Muslim Civic Coalition here. We have Dr. Dilara Saeed. We all know her and love her. Thank you so much for being here. We have Amina Barhoumi from Civic Coalition right here. We have wonderful Rija, who's here from Civic Coalition as well. Would like to recognize Syed Hussein from Islamic Center of Wheaton and his beautiful wife, Asma, who I believe is, oh, there she is. All right. Thank you for being here. And of course, our first speakers, first speakers today are going to be DuPage County Historical Museum, Michelle and Emily O'Brien. We all know them. They will be speaking first today. Here's Emily and Michelle about a lot of good stuff that we're doing together. So I will hand it over to Emily, and then we'll have Dr. Dilara Saeed say a few words, and then we will have board member Dr. Atif Fakhruddin, or either board member. You guys could decide who wants to speak. And then a representative from ICW to say a few words as well, and then we will close out with Member Hader. So thank you. It's your stage.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to stand up here with all of you. It's been great working with a good portion of you and getting to know the rest of you. A lot of you I met this morning. So our mission at the museum is stewardship, education, and community engagement of DuPage County's rich history. Muslim American Heritage Month, Diverse DuPage Neighbors, is our exhibit which celebrates the rich history, culture, and contributions of Muslim Americans in DuPage County. This exhibit will continue to occur on an annual basis as a space in which we collaboratively work with the Muslim American community to grow and research topics of Muslim American history. Our hope is that as we continue with this exhibit, we'll be more able to properly preserve and display Muslim Americans in DuPage County in a way that is accurate, accessible, and informative. Many people have helped with this project, and a special thank you goes out to County Board Member Sadia Covert, who approached us with Dilara Saeed, Amina Barhoumi, the Muslim Civic Coalition, and a big thank you to the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago, many of which I've talked to many members. And those are just a few. We have a whole list of contributors who we wouldn't have been able to make this exhibit possible without them. I'm really excited to continue to get to know everyone and work with them and grow this exhibit as we move forward. So thank you. Oh, last thing, it's open for 3 more days. So if you have time, please stop by. We're open 8:30 to 4:30, so.
Good morning. Oh, come on. It's snowy, but it's a DuPage morning. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. And may God's peace be with you. You're all here to honor the contributions of Muslims in DuPage County and across America, but I actually want to say that we do this together. We are allies. And I want you to look at each other and the two Muslims that are part of the DuPage County Board. It doesn't happen until representation pulls each other up with allies. I think of Michael Childress, Sadia Covert, Commissioner Evans. Like, each of you broke ceilings and tore down misconceptions. And this is why we are here today. 20 years ago, I became a tenured teacher, the first Muslim American, and they think Asian, tenured teacher in DuPage County. I was teaching 5th grade U.S. history and literature at Meadow Glens Elementary. And these are how we teach our children. These are ways we teach our children that the world looks like all of us. I have a story to tell. At 1 year in my decade-long teaching in District 203, I had a mother who came up to me, and many times this has happened, but this was a story you'll enjoy. She said, "Mrs. Saeed, I hope Jonathan has you next year. He's going to be in 5th grade, and I hear you're the most requested teacher in the school." For a minute, I thought, yeah, well, I'm pretty good. And then she said, "Because you're the only non-white teacher in our school. We all want our kids to be with you all year long." And I was like, yeah, let's change that too. And so, look, that was 20 years ago. And look at our district now. Look at our districts across the county. Look at our county board. Look at our leadership. Look at our city council members. And look at our faith leaders. MashaAllah. God is great all the time. And all the time, God is great. I want to share 2 things with you. The first thing is we will share a copy of the American Muslim Story. Though DuPage County has one of the largest Muslim populations in the nation, Illinois has the largest per capita Muslim population in the nation. The state does. And we are of every background, and we think we've been here at DuPage County. Some of the data shows over 100 years ago. We even think earlier than that as the Underground Railroad to bring enslaved people trying to find freedom through DuPage County towards the north and even further north into Canada. So I want to make sure I'm sharing that story with you. I also wanted to let you know that 20 days from now will be the beginning of Ramadan. And we'd like you all to have a one-pager that helps understand a little bit about Ramadan. We'd like to enter both of these into the records of the county board and share. And then you can also get all the copies you want from our website and from our team. We will deliver them to wherever you want us to go to. But Ramadan is a time of service, a time of faith, and a time of reflection. And right now in this world, we need faith. We need service. We need love between us. The Holy Quran in chapter 49, Hujarat, Surah Hujarat said, "We created you man and woman so that you may know each other. We created you into tribes so that you may know each other." And what we're seeing in the world today isn't that. It is up to us to change it, one by one, neighbor by neighbor, ally by ally. So thank you very much for this proclamation. We have a lot of work to do. Let's get to it.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Atif. Hello and thank you, everyone. So I just want to get one thing clear. Sari has said there are people here and they work a lot. I'm not one of them. So I'm a board member, but thank you, Sari, for the introduction. It means a lot to us, really, to be here. So thank you to DuPage County Board and the Historical Museum staff to host this. We've been here and, to contribute to the community. So as part of Islam Center Naples, we also have a free clinic, Shifa Clinic. We serve entire humanity, doesn't matter who you are, which race, religion, your status, we see everyone. So again, I'm really humble and thankful to all of you to recognize us for this proclamation. And as ICN representative, anything we can do to do more and understand the needs, we're available. So thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with all of you. This is on the spot. Thank you for considering us on this month to be the month of Muslim in this DuPage Council. We really appreciate it. ICW has been, or the first mosque in DuPage, and specifically in Wheaton, is in Wheaton since 2013. We've been strengthening ties with all of our neighbors, and one way we do that every year is the open house and the break and fast every year during Ramadan. We thank you very much again, and we appreciate this moment. Thank you.
And I just forgot to thank two more people. Member John Desart, thank you for connecting us with the DuPage County Historical Museum. You're also on the board of the museum, so thank you for your cooperation, your support. And also thank you to the executive board and everybody, the board members, the staff, everybody at the DuPage County Historical Museum. I am so proud of the work that they do there, and it's so important to support them. I know this is a plug to support the museum, but we are. And thank you so much for your work.
Thank you so much, Member Covert. I wish all the Muslim residents of DuPage County a very happy Muslim Heritage Month. I am super grateful for all the leaders of the community that have shown up today. I know it's the middle of the day, a work day, and you're all here at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And I know that must have taken a lot of sacrifice and arrangements for all of you to be here. I'm very grateful. I'm also grateful for the leadership of our chair and the entire board in being so inclusive and welcoming to the diverse communities of our county. Right now, it is absolutely important for us to recognize that diversity is our strength, and that we have to lean into that, and that we have to celebrate that, and this gathering is a celebration of that. While many communities feel marginalized right now in DuPage and beyond, this gathering, this celebration, and this acknowledgement by the chair and the county board members is a message that we are sending out strong and loud, saying that everyone in DuPage is welcome. And that's what this celebration is all about. Diversity is our strength. Thank you so much, everyone. Where do I go? I'm in between.
I know, right? I know. Here we go.
Oh, I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in.
Yeah, of course, girl. I don't know how you do the selfie.
Been doing this for 20 years.
Okay, we have another proclamation today. Today we are honoring Paul Hines, and I'd like to invite Gwen Henry and Paul to the podium. Okay. It's not every day that we get to honor an employee who has spent more than 40 years in public service. But when we get the chance to honor our long-serving employees, we like to do so. Deputy Treasurer Paul Hines is in his last week of service to DuPage County. He will begin February as a brand new retiree. Treasurer Gwen Henry requested this proclamation on Paul's behalf, and we are thrilled to honor him today. Okay, whereas Paul Hines is a lifelong resident of DuPage County and has dedicated his life to public service, working both for the state of Illinois and DuPage County. Whereas Paul Hines began his career with DuPage County in 1996 in the DuPage County Clerk's Office, where he served as Chief Deputy County Clerk from 2021, I haven't said that in a long time, to 2014, and later as the elected DuPage County Clerk. Whereas after his service in the County Clerk's office, Paul Hines joined the DuPage County Treasurer's office, where he has served as Chief Deputy Treasurer of Operations and helped modernize the office's day-to-day operations. Whereas during his tenure with the Treasurer's office, Paul Hines oversaw the implementation of the county's new tax collection system, serving as project manager for the rollout between the Treasurer's office, the Supervisor of Assessments office, and the County Clerk's office. And whereas Paul Hines developed key workflows for the new tax system and guided how the system would integrate across the three offices to improve accuracy, efficiency, and to serve the residents. Whereas throughout his career, Paul Hines has been active in professional associations and community organizations. Whereas Paul Hines is a dedicated public servant whose leadership has strengthened public trust and improved service delivery in DuPage County government, and whereas Paul Hines will retire from DuPage County on January 30th, 2026. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board and DuPage County Board members, do hereby extend our sincere appreciation to Paul Hines for more than 40 years of service, dedicated service to the residents of DuPage County, and offer our congratulations and best wishes in his retirement. I have all in favor? Motion carries. Approved this 27th day of January 2026 in Wheaton, Illinois.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Paul said, did I want to say something? I only want to say we are very sad this week in our office. And he's moving to South Carolina, where he hopes the weather's going to be better than it is here now. But he's not ready to move yet. He's got lots to do to clean out his house and get those things ready. So we are thrilled that he's been with us as long as we have, with the county, with the state of Illinois. We have been well served by this man, and we should have all of our employees serve us so well. Paul, we're going to miss you.
Me too. I appreciate it. Like I said, I can't believe it's been 30 years that I've been in this building. My car automatically comes here even on the weekends. I'm like, why am I going to Wheaton? But when I started 30 years ago, I had dark hair. So did Jim Zay. So after many years, but I've been honored to work with dedicated elected officials. Gary King hired me first. Then I became county clerk, and then Gwen Henry hired me. So I've worked with great elected officials, made my job easier, and I've always appreciated all the staff of DuPage County. You know, I'm proud to say Chad came in under me. So Chad, again, we're very proud of you too. But all the employees that I've worked with over the years, all the department heads, always been great. I have a T-shirt that says "Ask Paul." I may have to change my phone number, but no, you can still ask me. I even started before Nick did. So I knew Nick when he first got hired. So a great job. But like the treasurer said, I'm looking at maybe moving somewhere warm where when I start my car in the morning, it doesn't grind and moan in the morning. And So hopefully in a few months that will happen, but I'm looking forward. I've never been able, we've always been doing taxes in the month of March. I'm looking forward to going to spring training and not have to do tax rates this year. So but again, I appreciate it, Chair. I appreciate all your support and the resolution. And I've always enjoyed working with the county board, and I know you will continue to do good work. So, but I'll be watching you guys. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, on the matter of public comment, according to our county board rules, members of the public shall be afforded time to address the board. Individual remarks shall not exceed 3 minutes in length, nor shall the total time provided for all remarks exceed 30 minutes. Our first speaker is
Greg Schmeismala.
Dry. Good morning. I am Greg Semeisterlund, the president of Glen Ellen Woods Civic Association. Our association was created 50 years ago to stop things that we did not want built around our neighborhood. We now currently have 4 gambling establishments within walking distance of our children and everyone in our neighborhood. 6 within a half a mile, 7 within a mile and a quarter. Now, get beyond that. This is going over the entire DuPage County. We could talk about it, but it's not going to change. It seems to me, in my opinion, DuPage County is the Wild West of gaming, and it's becoming that way. Towns don't want it. Glen Ellen, Wheaton, Downers Grove, Lombard, all of our neighborhoods, they don't want gambling in their incorporated areas. But DuPage County is allowing it to happen very, very quickly. It is getting out of control. We are having more and more, and what is stopping it? The variances are written for you guys, ordinances are created, but we're not following them. These buildings and these establishments have been started begging for forgiveness because they're in that 1,000-foot zone of gambling within a place of assembly, daycare, or school. All of these locations are in those areas. We need to stop it. It's our children that we're looking for. Super Bowl's coming up. It's huge gambling, lots of money. Why do they always have, "Are you really winning?" commercials? Because it's happening. A lot of people are losing a lot of money. The money they say they won, does that really offset the money that they lost? This is what we're looking at here. I do not want to live in DuPage County to be the next Vegas, because that's what it's becoming. I don't want to see it. I think you guys should look at it yourself, because I don't know where you guys live, but really close to my neighborhood, and all my residents, we don't want it. We have people here representing our neighborhood. And do we need to get more to show you guys? Should we go to Downers Grove? Should we go to Lombard and bring more people in here to prove? Let's stop it before she starts. Change the laws that we have to change. Or ordinance, whatever you want to do. We need to do something moving forward. Thank you.
Al Hollenbeck.
My name is Al Hollenbeck. I am the state president of Illinois AARP. I'm also a 70-year resident of DuPage County. I'm I'm here today to speak about data centers, an issue not only important to our members in DuPage County, but statewide as well. We have 125,000 members in DuPage County. 125,000.
Can you speak up or raise the microphone a little? Thank you.
Sure. When we poll our 125 members in DuPage County, they come back with one strong message. They want to age in place. They want to stay in their homes, in their apartments. That's getting more difficult to do right here in DuPage County. Between prescription costs, food, property taxes, and now utility bills. That ability, that financial ability, is being strained by utility bills. In the last 7 years, gas and electric utility rates have gone up over 100%. The cost of living adjustment for our members on Social Security, 22%. That disconnect is making it harder for them to financially stay in DuPage County. On the issue of data centers, there's two fundamental questions. Who benefits and who pays? Last summer, like all of us, our members got a gut punch when they opened their electric bill. More strain on their financial ability to age in place. I'm not here to talk about job creation, alternative energy. For AARP and its members, it's about affordability. Our ask, not only here today, but statewide, is to pump the brakes on approval of additional data centers. There is legislation now in both the state and the federal level that is likely to address this imbalance of who benefits and who pays. Commonwealth Edison also is developing a program. Again, we believe it's time to continue to pump the brakes on approval of data centers that have proven they will drive the cost of electricity for seniors. Thank you.
Bill Graham.
Thank you, Chair Conroy, board members. I'm Bill Graham from Valley View. We're unincorporated, Milton Township, around 1,200 voters. And like many unincorporated parts of this county, we rely on you to protect us from these various insults. And we do not have a town council that can do that. We rely on you to handle that. So when we come, we're asking you to step in and help us out. By the way, your agenda item 23A, at the bottom, page 7, it refers to video gaming. I suspect that's some county or whatever convention. But we're not talking about video gaming like your kid might do at home. We're talking about video gambling. At least 10% of the proceeds don't return to those people who are doing the video gambling. So you might just call it highway robbery. We don't want these in our neighborhood. We may have some now. We don't want them. We don't want strip clubs. We don't want drug dispensaries. We don't want massage parlors. We don't want short-term rentals. There are many things we don't want. We rely on you to listen to the community and take steps that are appropriate to protect the style of life that we all cherish. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
George Taylor.
Because I represent a certain race, which is black. My race is not welcome, like the Muslim community feels they are welcome. Okay, I myself have been called and treated like a nigger in this county, and has nobody gave it any type of attention, or have they shown any concern for that? Okay. I have been incarcerated in this county on a misdemeanor for 6 months. I had my medication taken away from me, my epilepsy medication, and refused by the jail doctor, and which caused me to have multiple seizures. Okay. I want to ask everybody in this room one question. Make a statement. Or a question. I would like to ask everybody in this room to keep their hands down if they believe that not one bad apple exists in the DuPage County system of employees. I would like to keep their hands down. We know there are bad apples everywhere. That's just the case. But, the point was to see if there was anybody who cared about that in here. Okay. I've had multiple experiences with some of the people, the higher entity people in this county, and Robert Berlin, James Mendrick. I go into Robert Berlin's office and I look to the right, and there is a wall full of the past state's attorneys. All white people, all white males. All going all the way back to the 1800s. Slave owners and stuff like that. They so proud of it. You know what I mean? And it's a little bit. I'm gonna be reaching out to the board members. I want to know if you actually care, and practice what you preach. So, okay, I thank you.
Jackie Sample.
Hi, good morning, board members. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity to speak. I'm here again to speak to you once again about constitutional violations that's happening in DuPage County. I've been warned about speaking out too much about the racism and corruption that I have personally experienced and other black members of the community have experienced. I was told to keep my mouth shut because I'm making too much noise. So approximately 2 months ago, a third party allegedly gave me a warning that Sheriff James Mendrick would be releasing police records on me because I'm speaking too much, allegedly, and I didn't take any action because this is hearsay. But I spoke at the last board meeting about my violation of due process with these DuPage County judges who obstructed me from having honest services from the judicial system. So it was brought to my attention that Sheriff James Mendrick, acting in his official capacity, posted online that I took a plea deal and related it to a sex crime with children. And this is posted online on his page as his official, Sheriff James Mendrick. I have never been arrested in my life. I've never been questioned. I've never been involved with sex crimes. I do not have a police record. So as a result of this, I will be filing a lawsuit against Sheriff James Mendrick today for defamation of character, libel committed with the intent to cause reputational damage and to discredit plaintiff, First Amendment retaliation, harassment, viewpoint discrimination, and related unlawful conduct committed under color of law. James Mendrick has actually blocked me from all of his official pages, which you're not allowed to do, but he has blocked me. So there's been a lot of retaliation towards, me because I'm speaking out. In addition to Sheriff James Mendrick, I'm holding here a legal document from Robert Berlin's office threatening to take legal action against me because of a $38 water bill that's unpaid. Then I get another letter from the water department also coming after me for a $38 unpaid water bill. Then the following month, I get a $5,000 water bill. I didn't build a swimming pool between that time. I did not. So if the retaliation doesn't stop with Robert Berlin's office, I will also be filing a lawsuit against him soon as well. And also, I've reached out to every board member and sent emails. Some of them have bounced back. So I'm kindly asking you to unblock me because as elected officials, you're not allowed to block your constituents, correct? So I would ask to be unblocked within the next 7 days. Thank you so much.
Latanya Walker.
Good morning. Just a moment. Good morning. For the record, my name is Latanya Walker. I am a concerned citizen. I am speaking in general terms, and I reserve all of my constitutional rights. I am a DuPage County resident, and I have experienced discrimination and retaliation here while seeking accountability. I have also experienced discriminatory treatment that raises serious concerns about racial bias. I have also I am guided by the principles that righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne. That's Psalms 89:14. I am speaking today as a concerned citizen about judicial safety, due process, and public confidence in the justice system. I am not discussing the facts of any pending case, and I expressly reserve all my constitutional rights. No one should face retaliation for reporting misconduct, especially minors and people with disabilities. Children and people with disabilities must be protected from stigma, retaliation, and false accusations. False public accusations against minors causes irreversible harm. No one should be stigmatized or punished based upon unproven allegations. Minors must never be targeted or treated as threats by law enforcement. Children, especially those with disabilities, must be protected, not targeted by police. No one should be blocked from filing a complaint against government actors. Courts must be neutral, and an appearance of bias must be addressed. Independent oversight is essential wherever authority is institutionally protected. For the record, in former complaints, I identified the public offices involved. In public remarks, I refer to them only as multiple public offices to preserve my due process and avoid prejudice. I respectfully ask the board to ensure clear, independent complaint procedures, written findings when rights are restricted, and safeguards to prevent retaliation. Thank you.
Glenn Nelson.
Good morning. My name is Glenn Nelson. I live in Glen Ellen Woods subdivision. I'm here to follow on item number 23 on the agenda about video gaming, specifically regarding SMM management, which is at the Angelo's Grocery Food and Deli. Their attorney submitted a letter to the board on January 18th, attempting to blame their situation on the county and to threaten a lawsuit against the county. SMM management claims that without the continuance of video gaming income stream, that they will have to cease operations. What they fail to mention, and this is important, is that they made that business decision to convert from a profitable grocery store for decades to a 100% liquor and gaming facility. I went in there this morning. That is what that place is. SMM is not a victim in this situation. Rather, they made a business decision that led to their situation. And now they want the county to make accommodations for them. That is not the county's job. There's case law out there that actually says, as a general rule in the state of Illinois, no inherent vested right to continued zoning exists. That the Illinois Supreme Court of Illinois has held that a landowner generally does not have the right to continuation of zoning classification after an amendment. This means a business can be subject to new zoning ordinance provisions unless an exception applies. I'd like to know if there's some exception they're trying to apply. Casino gambling participants in Illinois has doubled in the last 4 years from 7 million to 15 million participants. That means that in residential video gaming, they are creating new, not old, new gambling addicts, since it's not pulling from the gambler pool that went to casinos, since it doubled. Bill here mentioned that video gamblers lose 10% of their money. Actually, that's not correct. It's 25% of the money they play. He got that 10% number from me. That was incorrect. It's 25%. I asked the county board member who voted for a revote on the SMM management variance request to make their reasoning known. It is not my understanding, or it is my understanding that the board member is required to be somebody who previously voted to deny the requested video gaming variance. As a final thought, I wanted to share a quote I heard on a documentary 2 days ago. Someone said, "If you always put your kids first, you will never make a bad decision." We need to actually be looking out for the vulnerable among our community, children and elderly. I would assume that this issue doesn't impact the people in this room, but the vulnerable and elderly it does. Thank you.
Laura Lucafo.
Good morning. I don't have anything prepared, but I'm here as a Glen Ellen Woods resident in support of my fellow neighbors against video gaming and gambling. It is within walking distance from my house, for my children. It's not something that I would like to see in our neighborhoods. I don't think it offers any positivity to the children or to our neighborhoods. There's a place for it, and it is not within walking distance from schools and our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Mr. Patel.
Good morning, dear county board members. I'm here for a motion to reconsider Lucky 7 Bistro LLC. Is located in Addison Township in Addison. We are seeking a variance, only one variance, 1,000 square feet from existing video gaming establishments. And Addison does not have any restrictions. It's opposing 1,000 square feet radius from existing establishments. We started, this project in May 2023. We did a lease in May 2023. It's ending in April 2028. We apply for our permits and everything. We went through the zoning. We went through a building, fire, health department, and we got approval and we got the building permits in November of 2023. And we started our construction and we finished the construction in end of December of 2025. And then we got, we applied for our licenses and we were denied due to the one variance being, been very close to another establishment. The ordinance was put in place in May 2024. We did not know about this ordinance being in place or changed, and we weren't aware about it, and we were notified. And then we applied to seek a variance. Zoning board approved us, 6 yes, and they were in favor. Also, development committee, they approved us by 4 votes. And last meeting in January 13, we were turned down. So I'm here for a motion to reconsider. I'm located in gaming-friendly town. It's in Addison, and they don't have this. They don't have this ordinance in place, and we have spent more than $250,000. We are paying rent since 2023, and our lease ending on 2028 April. And we weren't able to get out of the lease, and it will be very costly if we don't get this one variance. I also have 77 people in neighborhood signed this in favor to get the variance from the neighborhood within 1,000 square feet. So I'm here to, if I'm not the agenda today, but I'm here for you, county board member, to bring this up. Lucky 7 Bistro, and if you guys can reconsider this, that'd be great. Please support this business. I'm in Addison, and Addison have, video gaming, and that doesn't have any restrictions. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, if the board has received public comment via our online portal per board policy, those comments were provided to members yesterday so they could be reviewed. Comments submitted electronically will be included in the minutes of this meeting. Okay, now we have a presentation on the Crisis Recovery Center, and I'd like to invite Sam Tonatori, Adam Forker, and Lori Carnahan to the podium. Okay, I'm very pleased to have the Health Department Board President Sam Tonatori, our Health Department team up here today to report on the first quarter of operations of the DuPage Crisis Recovery Center. In the months running up to the ribbon cutting, I would frequently ask that the CRC would be a game changer. I would frequently say that the CRC would be a game changer for our residents. I think our early results demonstrate this much needed facility is positively and significantly impacting clients' lives. Sam, why don't you start with our presentation today?
I think you said everything that I was going to say.
Oh, gosh.
Sure. Thank you. Lori and Adam are going to talk a little bit about the Crisis Recovery Center and bring everyone kind of up to speed since the ribbon cutting. It's important for you to know what's been going on, not only because it's a jewel in our county, but because of the partnership that the county board has with the Health Department board. Without this board and Chair Conroy's support, we wouldn't have been able to build it. We wouldn't be able to continue the sustainability of it for now and in the future. And I can tell you, in talking to other county health departments when I was at a conference back in Denver a couple of years ago, the relationship that our health department has with this county board is unusual. Most of the time, the elected officials in the health department seem to be at odds with one another. That's not the case. So on behalf of the health department board, thank you. Thank you, Chair Conroy, for what you've done for not only the Crisis Recovery Center, but for everything, whether it be COVID, the opioid crisis. We've always been working together, and hopefully that will, and I know it will continue in the future. With that, Adam, I think you're going to go first.
Thank you, President Tonatori. Thank you, Chair Conroy, county board members. It's really great to be back with you all to talk about how your support for the Crisis Recovery Center is already making a difference. As the demand for mental health and substance use services has grown nationwide, you've taken action to deliver for our community. And because of your leadership, we now have the CRC operating, serving both youth and adults with dignity and compassion. So we're only 4 months in. The early signs are incredibly encouraging. The team is delivering exactly the kind of responsive care our community members deserve in their greatest moments of need. And I believe the data show a strong start, and we'll talk about that. But also, our work is being noticed well beyond our county. I want you to know our team, Lori and Kathy Carey, our Director of Crisis Operations, have been invited to present our story at the National Council on Mental Wellbeing's annual conference in Denver in April. So really giving us a national platform to highlight this model as well. So for now, I'm going to pass it to Lori Carnahan, the Deputy Executive Director at the Health Department, who I think you know has been really leading the charge at the CRC. She's going to walk you through that story, and I'll return at the end to talk about where we're headed next.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks for having me here today. I could talk about this all day long, but I'll try to keep it high level and very brief. But we're really excited to be able to share what we're seeing on really early impact for the Crisis Recovery Center. And so I'm going to share some data, but just a couple of reminders. We did open on September 2nd for both our mental health areas for adults and youth. Our withdrawal management, we did open a little bit later. We have, as of December 31st, 161 staff working across our continuum of care. I highlight that because the other piece is that 25% of those staff have been at the health department for 6 months or less. So just putting out there the huge lift. We all know that when we hire new staff, it's not easy to do. And when you're talking about hiring an additional 40 staff in a very short amount of time, and to be able to open the doors and really have the impacts that we're seeing already happening, it really shows very, very much success. So I'll walk through a couple of the data points. You will also be receiving our first quarterly report in the next week or so. So you will have this information to be able to share, and we'll be sharing that widely. But for the CRC, we have seen 745 on-site assessments from our opening day through the end of December. To give you some context, that's an over 130% increase of what we have seen at the same time during last year. So some of the key highlights on that is the youth. Traditionally, we did not see youth coming on our site. It was very infrequent to see youth coming to our crisis services in our smaller location, and we have seen 139 youth during that time. So that's really great to see that they are realizing there is a new place to go and receive the treatment that they need. As far as some on-site referral sources, so where are we seeing people come from to the CRC? Overwhelmingly, it is still self or family referrals that are coming in, that they are coming in on their own, or a family member is bringing them in. But as you can see with the other piece of the pie chart, we are seeing referrals come from lots of different providers: schools, police, EMS, 988 crisis hotline, hospitals, jail. So really what that shows and highlights is that the communication that we've put out into the community is being heard, and it really is being shared, because we are starting to see those pretty consistent numbers over time of many, many different referral sources. A couple of highlights within the police and EMS. We worked really hard to be able to get out into the community and to let EMS know that they can drop off at our location and police can drop off voluntarily. So we have had 12 EMS drop-offs, and we've had 22 voluntary police drop-offs during that time period. The really great piece of that is only one EMS drop-off and only one police drop-off had to go back to an emergency room for a different level of care, which means that the protocols that we put in place, the education that we gave police and EMS on when the appropriate time to drop off, is also out there, and it's working. And so, a lot of things that we put on paper in the beginning, you're not really sure operationally if it's all going to come together. But really the time that our teams have taken to make sure everybody's at the table talking to each other about these things have really, really showed the benefits. This is another huge highlight. So 95% of all of our on-site assessments resulted in community care. So that means that people are coming in, they're receiving services through triage, through our youth and adult pods, or our crisis residential program. They're going home with a safety plan, with a wraparound services, and a really good plan for care. That 5% that needed a higher level of care, only 2% actually had to go through an emergency room. So the other 3% that needed inpatient care, we've been able to work with our hospitals about direct admits, so really streamlining processes for the clients. That's the biggest piece of this, right? We want to make it as easy as possible for people to get the treatment that they need and not have to jump through hoops. And so we've really been able to be successful with all of our hospital partners to be able to reduce that burden on those that are in care. And we know we're going to see people that need that additional level. So we just want to make sure it's as easy as possible for them. And so where are people coming from? So this is just a high-level map of individuals that have been served on site at the CRC and where they live. So as you can see, we are seeing clients coming in from all areas of the community, which is really, really wonderful to see. We're keeping a close eye on this to be able to see, are there gaps? Where do we need to get more education? And so as we continue to gather more data, if there's specific communications that need to go out to certain areas, or if there's certain municipalities that we need to work with a little bit closer, this is really going to tell us that high-level data of where we need to make sure that we're getting out there and we're talking to those communities. And outside of the CRC, just want to make sure and provide a couple of updates on the full continuum of care. A reminder that really this is part of the full continuum. And so while the CRC is now open and up and running, all of our other crisis services continue to run and build and grow. So as you can see, we took over 4,000 calls through our crisis hotline and over 3,200 to our 988 line. And the awesome outcome of that is that 99.5% of those were handled through phone support. So there is a big misconception about people calling into 988 and then the police showing up at their house, or it is a misconception. And so it's really great to have that data to be able to show most often when people are calling in, they're getting the intervention that they need over the phone and that we're not having to reach out to any other resources. We also have our mobile crisis response teams going out in the community on a regular basis. So during that same time frame of from September 2nd through December 31st, we had over 800 community-based assessments. Traditionally, youth has been our higher level of community-based assessment, and that does continue. But if you can look at on the right, the highlight there is 60% of the time when we're out in the community, we're able to stabilize with a community intervention, which means 40% of the time they're going to the hospital. So if you look back to the slide a couple before, when you come to the Crisis Recovery Center and you get that intervention in the right place at the right time, 95% of the time we're able to community stabilize. So it really is showing that now we have the right place. And so we're able to go out into the community and meet people where they're at, but we do see the outcomes at a much higher level and a much more positive outcome when they're able to come on site to us. And lastly, our sobering opened September 2nd, but our withdrawal management did not open until October 14th. And that was just due to state licensing. But we have seen 29 admissions to sobering and 42 admissions to withdrawal management. Just a reminder, this was one of the newer services that the health department is providing and was a big lift to get open. And we have seen a very, very steady volume through these two different programs and some really great linkages to ongoing care. So this is just some community feedback. So we do ask clients to be able to fill out a survey as if they leave or when they leave our location, and we also ask first responders to be able to fill out a very quick survey. So as you can see here, there's a lot of great data being collected and really highlighting the utilization and the use of the Crisis Recovery Center. But before I turn it back over to Adam, I just want to share two really great stories that really highlight how when all of these services come together, we can make a really big impact. So the first one is our youth story. So our mobile crisis response team was called to a school for an assessment after the school became concerned about their safety, leading to strong consideration for an inpatient hospitalization. Sorry. The youth's mom was really not comfortable with an inpatient hospitalization and was really asking for, is there anything else that we can do at this time? So after consulting with our crisis recovery center, the mobile crisis response staff, the client, the parent, and a sibling all went to the crisis recovery center. They were able to talk with clinical staff, talk with people with lived experience, and have the time and space in that calm environment to be able to come up with a plan and not have to go to the hospital. So when they left the crisis recovery center, they were connected with our youth and family services, and to this day are still attending those services. So I think before the crisis recovery center, that outcome would have been a hospital. And again, there are times when the hospitals are that right level of care, but so often people just need that time and space. And the families need to be together to be able to have that space. In a school, usually a counselor's office or an emergency room isn't the right place for that. So this really highlights that impact. The second was an adult story. And so this is a story that we received feedback from one of our therapists after the client's experience with the Crisis Recovery Center. She noted that she couldn't imagine such amazing and genuine care for others in a clinical setting, and really appreciated everyone's time and effort to connect her to the right resources, and for being a one-stop shop for her mental health and substance use needs, which made it so much easier for her. So the really great part of this story is her story started with a call to 988. And that 988 call, she was struggling with some mental health issues, wasn't really sure she wanted to do anything about it, made a plan with that crisis counselor to say, you know what, sounds like you're safe for today. Can you call us back, or can we call you back tomorrow? So crisis called back the next day. She still was struggling. After some intervention, she agreed to come in. She came in, she got an assessment for her mental health, and it was that time that she also talked about her substance use and what was going on with her substance use, and was actually in early signs of withdrawal. And so after talking with all of our staff and that full treatment team, she was admitted to our withdrawal management voluntarily. She stayed for 6 days, and after those 6 days, she left with both her mental health and substance use connections and appointments. And she is still attending all of the appointments. So really, again, people not knowing if they're ready, not knowing if they're having that right time, when you have that full continuum of care all together, we make a huge impact. And these are just a couple of examples of what we're already starting to see in the community. And so we're really excited about what the future is going to hold for the CRC. So with that, I'll turn it over to Adam for the last couple of updates.
All right, thanks, Lori. And so just want to talk a little bit about where we're headed next. We plan for a long time and talk a lot about, of course, the financial sustainability of this center. And really that plan builds on the same foundation that's always supported our behavioral health work. So we bill for the clinical services we provide, we pursue competitive grants, and we use the local tax support to stabilize our highest priority needs when needed. For the CRC, we've expanded that model with several enhancements designed to strengthen that entire system for us and statewide. So some policy progress first. Thanks to our lawmakers, our partners, Heather O'Donnell, who's our Director of Behavioral Health Strategy. House Bill 1085 was passed in veto session and just signed by the governor last month. What that means is that beginning January 2027, many of the crisis services we provide will finally be eligible for reimbursement from commercial insurers. So that's a major step forward towards long-term sustainability, and that helps us and that helps residents of Illinois across the board. This session, we're also advancing 2 additional bills, and together these bills really strengthen that financial foundation for crisis services and align with a lot of the internal revenue cycle management and improvements we're making internally as we prepare to bill commercial insurance. Historically, the health department as a safety net is focused mostly on Medicaid, Medicare, uninsured. We are going to be growing that at the same time that we're making this policy progress. We're also making meaningful progress with our local partners. So 2 708 boards you can see there have already committed support. We have a third application that is pending now, and we anticipate hearing this week, hopefully. And there's, I think, 3 more opening in the next few weeks that we'll be pursuing as well. So thankfully, the leadership of those community mental health boards have been very receptive to conversations and support as they're growing their support as well. And finally, we've been expanding our base of community investment. So fiscal year 25 was our first full year of fundraising for the CRC through our 501c3 DuPage Health Matters, with support from Chair Conroy, with support from Member Tornatori, many of you. I'm happy to say we raised more than $535,000 in our first year doing that work, and another $35,000 so far in the early part of FY26. So we have some big plans for 2026. We welcome your continued engagement with that. And really what I hope you'll take away is on top of our foundation of how we've run things for 80 plus years now, while making the strategic and necessary enhancements that we have to, that every lever of our sustainability plan is in motion. There's still a lot of work to do, admittedly, but the progress is real, and I do think the momentum is strong as well. Finally, before we wrap up and do questions, I just want 2 quick notes I think you'll appreciate. First, we'll be soon adding a new feature to the CRC. I'm working with Jason Dwyer and his team at White & Company on a dedication installation that will appropriately honor your support alongside our Board of Health members. This will be placed just to the right of the main entrance, you'll see there. So we're looking to really create a visible reminder of the leadership that has made this center possible. And then secondly, DuPage Health Matters is hosting our first ever Bowl Over Stigma fundraiser in March. This is meant to be a bit more fun, community building event. It's designed to celebrate the CRC and raise some awareness while also generating some financial support. So there's lots of ways to participate in that. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me or Dennis Brennan. And I just really once again want to thank you for your partnership and your leadership and everything you've done to help bring this center to life. And I think Lori and I have time for questions, as much time as you have.
Member Honig.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. Again, thank you so much, Adam and Lori, for your leadership. I've had so many people over the course of a few months have come to me and say that it is not only incredible what we're doing here in DuPage, but we're setting an amazing example. And the fact that you had so much support and continue to have the support from all of us, all our community partners, is so amazing. Again, thank you. I do have a question. I was curious, are you hearing from, different, like Kane County, Will County, are you hearing feedback that's trickling into those counties of all the good work that you're doing and them asking, what we're doing and, trying to do things, different things in their counties and taking what we're doing and applying it to other areas?
A short and limited answer is yes. I mean, in my public health circles, talking to other public health leaders, they're absolutely interested in these models. Everybody, local health departments, it's different county to county and what they're able to do, but absolutely they're interested, they're asking questions, they're wishing they had the same support from their county boards and leaders to kind of develop this kind of model, but I do think those meaningful conversations are happening. I don't know if you also feel like in your behavioral health circles you're seeing the same?
Yeah, I would say we are getting a lot of outreach from other local providers, but other national providers as well. So next week we actually have Lafayette County in Louisiana that's looking to build a crisis recovery center. So through Health Management Associates, they've asked if they could come and see it. So we are happy to pay it forward. We did a lot of research and tours, and people were so lovely about having us come out there that we're really going to try to be able to do that with any providers that are looking to do the same thing. We would love to see it grow and expand across Illinois and across the nation.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Member Galassi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if it's possible to get the heat map of where the services are coming from. Is that possible to get that? Otherwise, if it's not, I can just comment.
I thought that was up there.
It was. I just wanted to comment on it. I want to see if we could get it up.
Oh, pull it back up again.
Pull it back up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it's not, I'll just make my comment. Well, 2 things I wanted to say. Out of 745 people served, 57 were from out of DuPage, and I think that's fantastic. I actually have an ER doctor friend that practices kind of far away in a remote location. She's from DuPage, but she said the buzz has been amazing from ER doctors, and she was actually concerned that DuPage was going to get overwhelmed with too many patients from outside of the county. So while I understand we want to serve anyone in need, I am glad to see that a large majority is are DuPage residents. So I wanted to make that comment. And then secondly, I do know at our District 3 mayors and managers meetings prior to the commencement of the construction that they were just concerned about the distance. And I do see that District 3, the numbers are lower than kind of closer to the CRC itself. I'm just wondering, is that a transportation issue? Or I know you said you're doing a lot of outreach and communication. Is there anything we can do as District 3 representatives to try to, increase those numbers in our area?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We are happy to go out into the community anywhere to be able to talk about these services. So some of the areas, I think, historically had maybe stronger relationships with our traditional crisis services, and so they know how to access a little bit better. So really kind of that continued word. Transportation, while it is always an issue, I think, in DuPage County, we've had a lot of creativity. We've been able to utilize Uber Health, Kaizen Health, a lot of different things, and we've seen a lot of family and friends being able to transport. So I think the biggest piece is really getting the word out there. The other piece is that EMS right now is limited to only 7 municipalities, and we are working to expand that to have us written into all of the 4 EMS districts in the area, which will then allow, get more education out there, but also then allow people to come in that way as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for all your efforts.
Yeah. I would just add quickly, the Wheaton number also includes when we see folks who do not have an address. So Wheaton's a little bit inflated. Anybody who is unhoused and has no address to claim, they're getting that address. So it's a little inflated. It's including the unhoused folks that we're seeing in the Wheaton count right now. So our numbers will get more sophisticated. But the other thing I would just add, anywhere we can go in your district, we'll go. If you've got Rotary clubs or schools or wherever, we'll go and talk about it. I'm finding that does make a difference.
Do you have you just gave 2, Rotary Club or schools, what are you seeing the best results from as far as outreach? Just to give us ideas of what you guys attend
I'll
and
go
have.
first. Some of the best I've had is any healthcare partners, of course, and trying to get more to the front line. We're having a lot of great conversations with CMOs and C-suite leaders, and we've had great support from hospital healthcare leadership. We want to get more to some of those frontline doctor and nurse groups. That'd be super helpful. Have good experiences with that. But I do really think the grassroots, showing up to those. I've done, I think, at least 4 different Rotary breakfasts at 7 a.m. I really think those community-based organizations, libraries, I do think they tend to be folks that, they live in the community, they have connections and relationships, and I really appreciate making those connections. I think those folks help us get the word out a lot, so that kind of grassroots campaign helps. I don't know if you guys have had.
Yeah, I mean, I think schools is another big piece. Really, I think overall it's getting it out to community members, the people that are actually going to be using the services. So I think, from the hospital perspective of, yes, you want to make sure that all of the administration is aware of it, but you want the hospital social workers, you want the EMS providers, the people that are out in the community knowing that they can quickly access. So anytime that we can get to the direct level staff and community members, I think that's the best way to get the word out.
And also, thank you for the recognition plaque. That's wonderful.
Also, Adam, before we move on to Member Heather, can we get the numbers separated from the unhoused? Just because I think that's a really valuable number and a really powerful number.
Yes.
So if we can do that, that would be.
Yeah, we are working on that, and we're hoping. So this quarterly report will show that. We'll be able to highlight it. It is a manual process, but we're now collecting data in a different way, so it will be distinct data.
Wonderful.
Because yes, we didn't realize it was a problem until.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
so,
of course.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, Member Heather.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Adam and Lori, for being here today. When I saw this presentation on the agenda, I knew that the numbers were going to be great. I knew that this is going to be a great presentation, but I'm really blown away by just the level of the success the CRC has shown us. I mean, it's incredible. So thank you for your vision, Chair Conroy, but also your leadership, Lori and Adam, and everyone that's involved in this process. At the Board of Health, we do have access to these numbers. We got them in December, but to see more numbers added to it and see that it's actually improving and that more lives are being positively impacted, I think it's huge. So thank you for your leadership. In the presentation, it says that the second source of referral is community providers, and it's about 13%. Could you highlight a little bit more about who are these community providers that are helping us bring these individuals into the CRC? So then, as board members and as members of the Board of Health, we can help think in those terms as well and help amplify the voice as well.
Yes, and most of those are community mental health and substance use outpatient providers. So they're seeing people in their outpatient settings and they're needing something more, so they're referring that. DuPage Pads is also in there, NAMI DuPage, so really any community partner that works in that mental health and substance use area. I believe that we could probably drill that down a little bit more and be able to add that more detailed data as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Member Dessart. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just looking at the bowling for bowl over stigma information, and maybe I should ask Dennis. But what I'm wondering is, I was just involved in a bowling fundraiser over the weekend on Saturday for the 100 Club of Will County, and there was an item on people could either bowl, or for those people like me who don't bowl, there was a spectator fee as well, so you could show up, eat the food or whatever, enjoy the camaraderie of the bowlers, but you didn't actually have to bowl. Are we doing that as well?
I'll have to double check. I mean, certainly we want to accommodate everybody. We did kind of break that out with the sponsorships where, like, if people want to come and bowl, like the team sponsor was a better option. The lane sponsors, like, if you're not going to be there or you're going to come and you're not going to bowl. But yeah. I realize that's the higher fundraising target. I think you can just buy a regular ticket, but I'm
not sure. Yeah, I mean, the sponsorships are great for like $2,500 or $1,000, but yeah. I mean, I know it's a fundraiser, but yikes.
You're certainly welcome to just buy a ticket and come and not bowl. We can make accommodations.
Well, I don't mean to make accommodations for me necessarily, but for anybody who wants to come to the fundraiser and support the mission and doesn't want to bowl.
Yep, I understand.
I'm just making a suggestion.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's a good suggestion.
Okay, anybody else? Member Heather again.
Sorry, Madam Chair. But I just also want to highlight that the 60% of the clients that are coming to the CRC are referred or brought by family members and friends, but that's a direct outcome of the intensive community engagement and media engagement by Chair Conroy and the health team. And I think that is huge. I mean, it was just a whole campaign, and that was incredibly successful. That has resulted in the numbers that we are seeing right now. So thank you for that.
Member Eckhoff.
Just a couple of short questions. The 57 people from outside DuPage, were they having events in DuPage, and that's why they came to the center?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Or work in DuPage?
Yeah, so basically they're coming to us and they're letting us know they live outside. So most often it is, our goal is to say, if you are in crisis in DuPage County, we will make sure to serve you and then link you to
they've got some connection to DuPage County.
Yes.
All right, and the other question is, I know this is too early to figure out, but is there a lot of repeat people, or do we expect that there's just maybe a percentage of the population that needs these services so that hopefully over time we're going to actually reduce the number of people that use the services? Because right now it's a new thing. Nobody's been exposed to it before or had the services, but hopefully over time they get treatment, they get better, they don't need it, and the percentage of the population is only so much, so
yes, we do have those numbers. I actually, out of our I have them in my head. Out of the 745 assessments, there was 564 distinct clients. So that means that we do have, I can't do those percentages in my head, but we do have those repeat clients. We're actually okay with the repeat clients. If they're coming to us and getting what they need and they're avoiding a trip to the emergency room or having an inpatient stay, that's where we want them to be, but we want to also make sure they're not falling through the cracks. So if they're seeing us and then they're not connecting to ongoing services, we want to make sure that we're closing that loop. But yes, we are tracking that, and we'll continue to track that.
Thank you.
Member you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I really appreciated this presentation very much. I don't love numbers, but I enjoy data and evidence, and I love how you presented it for us. Very, very powerful. But I did want to ask, when you guys do the warm handoff to whichever agency in the community that the patient is going to, has there been an issue of wait lists or the inability for that agency to take on another patient? Are there enough community agencies that we can partner with to do that warm handoff and make sure that people are getting the continuum of care?
I don't have the exact answer for that. What I will say is we know that there's lots of wait lists and kind of long-term needs within the community. What we have been able to do is we have a dedicated crisis follow-up team that can follow them through those wait lists. So anybody that's leaving the Crisis Recovery Center, we make sure that they're being followed until they can link to those services. So even if that is they need us to have that, short-term therapy, or they need to have an additional prescriber appointment between that length of time. So we're really trying to do that, but Kathy Carey and her team are doing an amazing job gathering all of the resources in the community and making sure that they have a very robust list of community providers that take all levels of insurance, because we want to make sure we're connecting people with their right place in the long run. But that's really our solution, and it has been for quite some time, our crisis follow-up team, to be able to have that connection, but we've been able to expand that and ramp that up because we don't want anybody to fall through the cracks or say, oh, here's your appointment, and then it's 6 months down the road, and that just doesn't do anything for anyone.
Okay, thank you. So I think that was an amazing presentation. We should all be incredibly proud of the work that's being done, and all of you need to take some credit for that. I've had conversations with State's Attorney Bob Berlin, and we both are of the same mind that we believe that the interest from the opioid money should go to the Crisis Recovery Center. So with that thought, I will make sure that all of you get the information about just how that money can be used, and I'd like to have a discussion about that at our next meeting. Okay. Like most Americans, I'm heartbroken and horrified by what I saw over the weekend in Minneapolis. I believe the U.S. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement operations should be halted as a result of the tragic shooting Saturday of Alex Preddy, and earlier this month of Renee Good. This loss of life is unimaginable in a nation that has steadfastly protected our rights of free speech and assembly. Our federal legislative agenda is before you for a vote today. In light of the events in Minneapolis, I propose a change in the language of our agenda to say, DuPage County urges Congress to deny funds to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security until a thorough, independent investigation of immigration, customs, and enforcement operations can be completed. This language is on your desk. I believe we must strongly communicate our demand that our communities need to remain safe and that all individuals deserve due process in any federal immigration action. I am asking for your support, and that amendment will come up later. So we will move on to the consent agenda. I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda items. 260443, DuPage County Board regular meeting minutes, Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. 26246, 1/8/2026, auto debit pay list. 26279, 1/9/2026 pay list. 26304, 1/13/2006 pay list. 26323, 1/14/2026 Public Works refund pay list. 26036, 1/16/2026 pay list. 26379, 1/20/2026 auto debit pay list. 26290, 1/12/2026 IDOR wire transfer, 26/3/26, 1/14/2026 core bill wire transfer, 26/298 recorder's monthly revenue statement December 2025, 26/373 treasurer's monthly report of investment and deposits December 2025, 26/383 change orders to various contracts as specified in the packet. All in favor? Okay, and we're going to move on to County Board and Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on CBR 1126, the appointment of Karen Shavard to the DuPage Airport Authority.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu. Member Zay. And Member Cahill.
Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on CBR 1226 on the appointment of Joshua Davis to the DuPage Airport Authority.
Okay, leave is granted. Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on CBR 1326, the approval of exclusive real estate broker agreements with NAI Hiffman for the purchase of real estate with DuPage County Regional Office of Education.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call for this, please.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu. Member Zay. And Member Cahill.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Childress. Finance and Member Garcia.
And just a quick update on our committee. This morning, we did have a robust discussion about surplus funding, and we did take consensus, and we have a consensus on, I think it was 1.5 million going into tort liability, and then we also put money toward the sidewalk and lighting project over at Hinsdale Lake Terrace. And then the other funding we split evenly between the Sustainability Initiative Fund and then also the capital funds. So then those discussions will be taking place later about where those monies will be earmarked for. So that's done. So anyways, moving on. I make a motion to approve FIR 926, authorization of memorandum of agreement and extension of contract with American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, Council 31 for Human Resources.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu. Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
Okay, Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 002226, resolution approving the sale of inventory from the County of DuPage on behalf of the DuPage County Sheriff's Office to the City of Berwyn.
Okay. All right, leave is granted.
Make a motion to approve FIR 002326, additional appropriation for the Law Library Company 1400 in the amount of $227.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 002426, acceptance and appropriation of the ILD-CEO Community Services Block Grant. This is in the amount of $1,371,680 for community services.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 002526, additional appropriation for the Aging Case Coordination Unit Fund, Program Year 26 for Adult Protective Services Technology Modernization Grant. This is in the amount of $11,160.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 002626, abatement of the Special Service Area Number 31 for the tax levy in the amount of $1,586,687.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 002726, budget transfers 1/27/2026 for various companies and accounting units.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 002826, authorization to transfer and appropriate an amount not to exceed $5 million in additional funds from the general fund to the county infrastructure fund for the fiscal year 2025 for campus flood protection.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 002926, authorization to transfer and appropriate an amount not to exceed $4 million in additional funds from the general fund to the county infrastructure for the fiscal year 2025 for the Elmhurst Quarry Control Facility.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 003026, authorization to transfer and appropriate an amount not to exceed $3 million in additional funds from the general fund to the county infrastructure fund for the fiscal year 2025 for facility management projects.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 003126, authorization to transfer and appropriate an amount not to exceed $1 million in additional funds from the general fund to the county infrastructure fund for the fiscal year 2025 for the Hinsdale Lake Terrace programs.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FIR 003226, authorization to transfer and appropriate amount not to exceed $11 million in additional funds from the general fund to the DuPage Sustainability Fund for the fiscal year 2025 for sustainability initiatives.
Leave is granted. Member
Show
Garcia.
Wyckoff voting no, please.
Excuse me?
Roll call. He wants a
Show
roll call.
Wyckoff voting no, please.
Oh, okay, then we'll do a roll call. Well, we better do a roll call in case, he can be kind of influential sometimes.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert.
Aye.
Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
You are quite the individual. Okay, Member Garcia.
Make a motion to approve FIR 003626, additional appropriation for the general fund, company 1000, accounting units 4200 and 4220, in the amount of $76,068 for fiscal year 2025 for the county clerk. Roll call. Need a roll call.
You want a roll call for this? Okay, let's do a roll call.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
With 12 yes, 4 nay, and 2 absent, motion carries. Okay, Member Garcia.
Point of order. I
Yes?
think that needs majority, supermajority, which would be 13 votes.
Oh, I'm
It was
sorry.
appropriation.
Oh, you're right, because it's an appropriation, so it doesn't pass, it fails. Okay, moving on. Member Garcia.
It was 14.
Oh, okay, I'm being told it only needs 12 votes. Of who's present? Is that accurate? That's 2/3, 12? Okay, just want to be sure. Do you guys all agree that's 2/3? Okay, so the motion does carry then. Okay, Member Garcia.
Okay, make a motion to approve FICO 000126, amendment to county contract issued on Accutate Consulting US Inc. to provide SAAS implementation services for the Human Resources Department to increase encumbrance by $206,677 and extend the contract through August 31st, 2026 for Human Resources.
Okay, leave is granted. Oh,
No,
thank-
roll call.
Oh, roll call? Okay, we'll do a roll call.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. And Member Galassi.
Okay. Pardon? Okay, thank you, Member Garcia. Animal Services and Member Krajewski.
Just Chair, just one item. We just had a press release that went out maybe within the last day or two, but DuPage County Animal Services received the Rachel Ray No-Kill Excellence Grant to
Nice.
support life-saving things that we're doing over at the county. $20,000 grant, so we'll see that resolution coming up shortly. And it's supposed to be used for a program, Project Forever Families program, which is going to divert the intake of animals into the shelter by connecting pet owners with medical services that help the pet stay with their loving family. And the goal is to divert at least 50 cats or dogs that would potentially come in and stay with their owners. So that grant is specifically for that use. So I want to thank our animal service staff for applying for it. And of course, now that our numbers are where we're a no-kill facility, that's what the Rachel Ray Foundation looks for around the country when they award these grants. So congratulations to staff, and we'll see that in front of us probably shortly here.
That's fantastic. We hate to see an animal going back because the family can't afford or isn't willing to take them. Okay, Development and Member Tonatori. Okay, Economic Development, Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the continuing resolution that continued funding to WorkNet DuPage expires at the end of this week. And the latest on the federal funding is there can be a potentially shutdown if the Senate does not pass an appropriations bill that includes the WIOA funding. There is some contention with regard to the current bill, and so and it has to do with funding to the Department of Homeland Security, which is included in that appropriations bill. So if the Senate cannot reach some kind of agreement, then the impasse could lead to a partial government shutdown. So WorkNet DuPage, all the staff at WorkNet, Lisa Shabak included, are monitoring the situation. And as well, I wanted to just, on another brighter note, that WorkNet DuPage is changing up their programming and revamped things for 2026. They're now offering a comprehensive job search blueprint workshop open to the public once a month, and 2 AI-centered workshops once a month, one regarding how to use AI to build an effective resume, and the other on how to use AI to prepare and practice interviewing. And these workshops are truly effective in helping attendees gain familiarity using generative AI while also strengthening their job search techniques. So I'm very excited about those. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Yu. Environmental and Member Heather.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the approval of item EN-R-1-26, Memorandum of Understanding between the County of DuPage and Midwest Renewable Energy Association to provide a solar and heat pump group buy program, no county cost.
Okay, any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Member Heather.
Yes.
Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. And Member Garcia.
Okay, thank you, Member Heather.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have ATSB and Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm actually going to ask our IT Director, Anthony McPherson, to come up just to sort of explain this item because I think there'll be some questions on it.
Okay. Good afternoon.
All right, thank you, Member Schwarzy. So just to bring some overview of essentially what this exit agreement is about. As most of you probably know, we have a police records management system, one of the largest consortiums in the United States. Originally, there were 34 agencies connected with the consortium. Now we're down to 31. Downers Grove decided last year that they would enter into an agreement with a different software provider for RMS. And this exit agreement just essentially separates their obligations, financial and other obligations, from the PRMS consortium and Downers Grove. So they have no financial obligations after April of this year. A couple things that you should keep in mind is that even though they actually stopped or terminated in October of 2025, they are financially responsible through April of 2026. There's a few different funds available. One is called an equipment replacement fund, which is essentially a fund that allows for all 31 of the agencies to save money for future replacement of the existing system. They have put into that equipment replacement fund for the past couple of years. They are forfeiting those dollars, so the consortium will be able to use that for a new system. So in summary, it's a mutual agreement between the PRMS Oversight Committee through ETSB. The reason why this item is on with ETSB, originally when we started the PRS consortium, ETSB was a major player, and ETSB essentially provided the funding for us to enter into an agreement with the RMS software provider, Hexagon. You all didn't approve, but you saw the resolutions that came through earlier. That was essentially allowing for the PRMS Oversight Committee to separate from ETSB and be its own financial arm. So that's all part of this. But in short, the exit agreement just allows for them to leave and move forward with their own implementation. My last comment is I'm a little sad about it, and we're going to try to work to get them and others reconnected. The strength in the PRMS consortium is all police agencies working together under one system. Unfortunately, there are some organizations like some townships like Downers Grove who essentially want to save money, and they also want to have a little more control over the system and how it's configured, which makes a lot of sense. But the power of the consortium is really with the collective group, so we do lose one of our members, unfortunately.
Member Krajewski.
Are they just doing it on their own, or are they joining a different?
No, on their own. They are actually entered an agreement with a company called Axon. Axon does tasers and body cams, and
so they're getting it basically cheaper than keeping it with us.
They are, yeah. So.
And I assume Naperville's separate too?
Naperville is separate. Yeah, Aurora, Naperville, separate, and Addison.
Okay.
I think I'm missing one more. But yeah.
Okay. Member Garcia.
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick clarification. You said township, but it's the municipalities that are doing it, right?
Correct.
Not the township.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The municipalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
the village of Downers Grove. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you very much.
Member Schwarzy.
Anthony. I'll move on ETSR 1126, resolution approving a mutual termination agreement between the County of DuPage on behalf of the Emergency Telephone System Board of DuPage County and the Village of Downers Grove.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Schwarzy.
Aye.
Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. And Member Ozog.
Okay, thank you, Member Schwarzy. Member Schwarzy for Human Services.
Thank you. A few announcements. I wanted to share with this board. I shared it with the parent committee last week. Part of our DuPage Community Transformational Partnership, we granted Metropolitan Family Services $550,000 for their long-term program. They significantly spent below their first year grant, mainly due to the delayed hiring of a behavioral therapist. So in their budget for year 2, they projected that they would not spend $87,000 of that $550,000 grant. Since ARPA rules specify that all funds must be utilized by December of this year, we were not able to provide an extension to the grant into their third year. So as our committee had discussed, and which is also part of the original agreement, and of course myself, Vice Chair Garcia and Mary Keating sit on that committee, any unspent funds this year would be reallocated for the purchase of food. And so a revised grant agreement with Metropolitan Family Services was approved by our board and signed. So that $87,000 will be distributed to all the food pantries in DuPage County through the Northern Illinois Food Bank. So basically pantries have the option of ordering food up to $5,000 until all the funds are used up. So I just wanted everyone to know that. There is the potential that some of our very small food pantries may not place an order, but they do have the ability to do so. Secondly,
Member Schwarzy?
Yes.
Sorry. Are we making sure that through our different districts that we're making sure that our food pantries are aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
For sure, absolutely. They've already been made aware of that.
Wonderful.
Yes, every
Okay.
single one. So, on a second note, you guys all should have received an invitation to the DuPage Care Center Legacy Gala being held February 21st at the Bloomingdale Golf Club. Me and Julie are going to attend, and I hope to see some of you. And then finally, you may have seen this press release last week, DuPage Care Center hosting Valentine's Balloon fundraiser to benefit residents. So for $5, community members may send a balloon to the Care Center residents to spread cheer and warm wishes. In the past, the public sent nearly 1,000 heart-shaped helium balloons to line the corridor. We are all welcome to go help fill balloons and hand them out on February 13th. I think it's, I'm not sure, I think it's at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something. 9 a.m. Thank you. So just a reminder there. So and now on to the agenda. I move on item 260350, HSP 7A25, amendment to resolution HSP 725, issued to Teen Parent Connection to provide car seats, diapers, formula, wipes, and car seat safety training, to increase the contract by $25,000 and to extend the contract to March 31st, 2026.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Schwarzy.
Aye.
Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia. Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. And Member Ozog.
Okay, Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on HSP 426, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Henry Schein, Inc. for Alco Classic expendable deck beds for the DuPage Care Center for the period of January 28, 26 through November 30th, 26 for a contract total amount not to exceed $223,904.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on HSCO 326, amendment to purchase order 79380001 serve, issued to United Staffing Network, Inc. to extend the contract through April 30th, 26, and to increase the contract in the amount of $25,000 to continue to provide supplemental pharmacy staffing for the DuPage Care Center.
Okay, leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. Finally, I move on HSR 326, 2026 Annual Action Plan element of the Consolidated Plan, DuPage County Consortium, first reading, acceptance of the 2026 Annual Action Plan element of the 2025 through 2029 Consolidated Plan for Community Development Block Grant home investment partnerships, and emergency solutions grant programs to qualify and receive the Department of Housing and Urban Development grant funds.
Okay, leave is granted. Thank you, Member Schwarzy. Okay, we're going to move on to Judicial and Public Safety, and Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In Finance Committee, we did amend the dates for this upcoming item. So I would move on JPSP-13-26, recommendation for the approval of funding to Bond Conway Law Firm for professional legal services to assist the county clerk with election matters as needed for the period of December 1st, 2025 through January 27th. Or wait, actually, do I need to do that? Is that the right? Okay, November 30th, 2026. Is that right? Sorry. Oh, where's
Yeah, State's Attorney said it's correct.
Okay. Okay, so should I just read it the way it is then? Because I thought it was from December 1st. Okay, as amended. Okay. For an amount not to exceed $200,000, professional services not subject to competitive bidding per 55 ILCS 51022C, appointed as a special assistant state's attorney by the state's attorney's office pursuant to DuPage County Procurement Ordinance 353-1B.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Evans?
Aye.
Member Galassi? Aye. Member Garcia? Aye. Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? Member Covert? Member Desart? And Member Eckhoff.
Okay, thank you, Member Evans. And we'll move on to Legislative and Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first committee update, first of all, just a couple of dates from Springfield. Number one, Friday, February 6th is the bill filing deadline. And then February 18th, Governor Pritzker's State of the State address will happen. Federally, as Member Yu mentioned, the Senate is in session today with hopes that a Senate vote will keep the federal government open as the chances of a government shutdown looms and pushback from Senate Democrats over ICE funding bills. The chances of a partial government shutdown by Friday, January 30th looms amid a bitter battle on Capitol Hill. All right, so that's what's going on in the state and federal government. The first item I'd like to present, our new federal lobbyist, Riley O'Connor, is delightful. I think you'll really like working with him. So with that, I move to approve LEGP 000126, the recommendation for the approval of a county contract to Lincoln Park Group, LLC, to provide consulting services as lobbyists representing DuPage County for the U.S. Congress and the federal executive branch for DuPage County's Division of Transportation, Public Works, Stormwater Management, and all the other county departments and agencies for the period of February 1st, 2026 through January 31st, 2027 for the county board for a contract total amount not to exceed $96,000.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? And Member Covert.
All right, next I'd like to move to approve LEG R000126, the resolution to adopt the county's 2026 state legislative program.
Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I handed out an amendment, but I just wanted to bring this up for discussion. You know, I know the county has done such a great job on addressing food insecurity, and while doing some investigating, I think everybody needs to know that the state of Illinois, while we're doing our part, the state of Illinois has one of the worst error rates for SNAP benefits, which means people that shouldn't be getting SNAP benefits are getting SNAP benefits. And there's a looming deadline that if the state doesn't take care of this, the federal government then will fine the state that amount that they are missing, basically misappropriating. So last year it was $520 million. That's 1 in every 10 people that's receiving SNAP benefits should not be receiving SNAP benefits. I mean, we want everybody who needs those benefits to get them. And if the state's not going to address this, that's going to put our people into jeopardy coming in next years. So it's just something to put on the radar screen. Again, the county does a great job working with food insecurity, but if the state's not also doing their job, it could really put our people that depend on SNAP in jeopardy.
Okay, Member Desart.
So you're not making a motion to amend. You're just bringing it to our radar.
First.
Okay.
If everybody wants to do that, that's fine. Or we can talk about it at our legislative breakfast and hear from our legislators.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, because it's the Illinois Department of Human Services, can they direct them to do that? Only the governor can direct them to do that. So I don't know if this would be out of order or just wouldn't fit.
I don't think it would really fit, but I don't think anybody is going to disagree with the fact that we need to make sure we're doing this correctly. And my understanding is the state has taken it very seriously and has been doing the work. Of course, our other concern is that we're continuously being penalized because we're a blue state. So I do think they're taking it seriously, and I think we all share your concern about making sure the people that truly need SNAP are getting SNAP.
Absolutely, I do too. I'm sorry, I still wanted to say something, and that is that the way this is written, it says to pass legislation. However, the state administers it, it's not necessarily legislation to be passed. And I too agree that the state is working on this very, very issue. The other thing is that about this particular amendment is that you've got data in here that I think our staff needs to check out before we actually would pass something like this to make sure the numbers are correct.
Okay,
that's just
fine.
my feeling.
I just wanted to bring it
open
up
to
because
listening.
I think it's a serious issue, again, that we want to make sure that, and Illinois is one of the worst, but there's also other states that are also worse. Florida is one of the worst. They're over almost 14%. So, I mean, we want to make sure these funds are getting to the right people and that people are taking advantage of it and that the state is aware and hopefully it'll make some changes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Member Krajewski.
This is while we're getting stuff on the radar. I brought this up a couple years ago. Illinois, since it's the state one, we really need to toughen up the legislation as it relates to people that use guns. We've had an awful lot of people a couple years ago coming into DuPage that have been arrested, and State's Attorney Bob Berlin has gone after when they've used guns, and a lot of them it's a repeat history. They've used them multiple times. They've been out on parole. They've been given short sentences in the commission of a crime using a gun. And so I think we even talked about the resolution on the banning assault rifles to add that in there, where we need much stiffer penalties. I know the chair mentioned this morning about the federal legislation, which is coming. Everybody sees everything on the news. But closer to home, not in Minnesota, but closer to home, last weekend in Chicago, 7 people shot and killed. It was one of the deadliest days in Chicago winter history, with 7 people shot and killed, 40 wounded. This 19-year-old man died after being shot multiple times while driving his car. 17-year-old shot in the backseat of a vehicle. 37-year-old man shot and killed while sitting in a vehicle. It goes on and on. This last Sunday was 1 person shot and killed in Chicago, right next door to us. Again, 10 people wounded. But we need to put in there to Springfield, they need to tighten up and make much stricter laws for people who have used a gun to commission a crime, that they don't get back on the street for many, many, many years, because most of these are repeat offenders, and these are ones near home, near us. So I'd like to see us just put some more language in there. I think I saw one little blurb regarding something with guns, but I think we really need to push Springfield to put stiffer laws in place for people who use a gun in the commission of crime. You do that, you shouldn't be out on the street in a short period of time. Thank you.
Okay, Member Garcia.
Yeah, and I think Member Zay for bringing this up, but I'm going to have to agree with Member Dessart. I would need to see more citations in regards to.
Yeah,
these.
I don't think he's bringing it forth as an amendment. That's not my understanding.
Right, it was just for the discussion, I know, but that's what I thought when we were given this, it was supposed to be an amendment.
But he said it's not,
Right,
so
I know.
you wanted to discuss
But
it.
I'm just saying, before we discuss it here on the board floor, I would need to get citations about exactly where these statistics came from, so that's what I just
Okay.
want to make sure.
Member Honig. Member Honig.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Conroy. Kind of to go down a different route from what Member Krajewski was saying is that I think it would be nice in ties with gun violence is not just to talk about the punishment, but the rehabilitation and to add in encourage the state to add in more programs, whether it's within the prison systems or in other community service programs that helps decrease the repeat offenses so that we aren't just saying, hey, we are passing legislation to just put people in jail, but to continuously try to create a community awareness of gun violence throughout all our communities. It doesn't just happen in the city. It happens in every part of the state. It is not just a unique problem to the city. So thank you.
It's my understanding that the General Assembly is considering some changes to the Safety Act, so perhaps reach out to your legislators, see where they're looking at that and what those changes might be. Member Dessart.
I think we're just ready to take a vote, actually. Are we
Okay.
ready to take the vote?
Oh, Member Krajewski.
Hey, one more question. I don't know if we reached out to because we just had our District 3, Member Evans, Member Glassy, and I with our mayors. Did we reach out with the DuPage mayors? Because they have their own legislation too, and they had some the things that they brought up to the three of us at our meeting that we'd probably like to see in here. They have some, priorities that some of our local mayors want, specifically as it relates to some of the non-home rule communities. But I don't know if we talked with them and included, because I didn't see that in there, some of their big concerns that's actually being pushed by mayors and managers.
One of the things I will say, Member Krajewski, is that, and Cheryl and I have talked about this for years, is that when we put together our legislative agendas, federal or state, we'd like to, number one, keep it general, and number two, not put too much in here, because if we have too much in here, then our lobbyists, have too much to work on. Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah, but I'm
There's
saying
just-
if
we
it's
can't have too
important to
much
our
in here.
mayors, we should maybe try to help them too. I mean, we're both advocating for certain things, so if we're stronger with two voices than one. All right, thank you.
Okay, so what I would say to that is I have a very good relationship with our mayors and managers, so if it's something of great importance, they will let me know. I agree with Member Dessart that it needs to be somewhat general. Now, if something comes up during the legislative session that is of great importance to all of us, we can certainly, support or oppose something because of that issue. But currently, a lot of these things, there's not actual legislation for. Member Krajewski.
Not to disagree with you, but Member Evans and Member Galassi were at our District 3 meeting, and all of them to a T, were raving about how great, especially Member Galassi and Member Evans, they communicate with the mayors all the time and a great relationship. Fortunately, I think they talk to us a lot more than they'll call you up, and they'll tell us about it. And my two seatmates have been very, very responsive to all the mayors who call up. And, they're doing a lot of the work, and they were very, supportive of them and getting involved in this stuff. So I would not necessarily say they're going to call you. They're going to call us three, probably those two first.
Well, Member Krajewski, I, again, have a very good relationship with the mayors and managers, and they are always willing to reach out to me, and I meet with them on a regular basis. So if there is something, they should reach out to me, or they should reach out through Andrew to me. Okay, Member Dessart.
So it's been moved and seconded.
Okay, you're right, it has.
We had discussion.
Roll call, please. Really? Member Eckhoff.
I just had a couple of things. Number one, regarding the mental health and substance abuse treatment, I would like, although I guess I just want to put my 2 cents in, that there would be some encouragement to have discussions regarding the causes of mental health and substance abuse treatment needs. There's reasons I talk about every time with the health department that there's a cause or sometimes underlying causes to mental health, and I would like that to be investigated too. And then regarding the support of our immigrant community, I would like some language, or I would prefer some language, and it's not there, so I can't support it, about both sides ratcheting down the rhetoric. So that
Okay, I think
there's-
that's in the federal
Well-
legislation. That's a federal, that's the next bill.
Well,
Next,
that's my point. It's in the state. It says urge the federal administration.
oh, okay,
So, sorry.
okay.
So anyway, so I think, it takes two to tango. I think both sides have got massive problems on this issue. And there should be some discussion or some statement in our legislative program for the state to urge our governor and state legislators and our congressional delegation to tone down the rhetoric.
Okay, roll call, please.
Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante. Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childress. And Member Covert.
Okay, Member Desart.
Thank you. And then finally, I move to approve LEG-R-0002-26, the resolution adopting the county's 2026 federal legislative program.
Okay, Member Yu.
I move to amend the federal legislative agenda, page 3, paragraph 4, where it says, the original language was DuPage County urges the federal administration to seize ICE operations unless there is a signed judicial warrant, and the racial and ethnic profiling of all individuals. Although counties lack the authority to change federal immigration laws, DuPage County will continue to create welcoming communities and to support our neighbors. So the amended language will then be, DuPage County urges the federal administration to seize ICE operations unless there is a signed judicial warrant. DuPage County urges Congress to deny funding the U.S. Department of Homeland Security until a thorough, independent investigation of immigration, customs, and enforcement operations, including racial and ethnic profiling, can be completed. Although counties lack the authority to change federal immigration laws, DuPage County will continue to create welcoming communities and to support our neighbors.
Okay, any discussion? Member Zay.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. So we're advocating a government shutdown, and that we don't want to give Homeland Security any appropriations. So it'd be shutting down the U.S. Coast Guard, Customs and Border Patrol, FEMA, Secret Service, TSA, Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, and many more. So is that what this is advocating? Since we just heard from Member Desart that the government shutdown looms here as of this Friday. So we would basically be saying not to fund Homeland Security and then basically shut the government down, because obviously it's going to be a sticking point, and putting us into this whole issue that we had with the government shutdown the last time, with people not getting SNAP benefits and other Social Security and other things like that. I just wanted to be clear.
Okay, Member Yu.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. So first, Congress, Senate could bifurcate. It could separate out the funding of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security from their current omnibus bill to prevent a government shutdown. Second, we are asking for a thorough, independent investigation of ICE operations, considering there are murders of U.S. citizens that are happening in Minnesota. And so I do think that until this investigation happens, that the funding should be denied to Department of Homeland Security. And hopefully that would behoove them, it would behoove them to hurry up with this independent investigation.
Member Galassi.
There are so many aspects of Homeland Security that protect U.S. citizens that I could never vote to deny funding to that department. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Member Eckhoff.
Thank you. I had an article that I thought brought some light to the subject. If we can just read a couple sentences. The United States has had a proud tradition of individualized due process. No matter who you are, everyone deserves their day in court. The Migration Policy Institute released a report called the deportation dilemma, reconciling tough and inhumane enforcement. One of the findings was that the deportation system had dramatically changed, moving from a judicial system where the vast majority of people facing deportation had immigration court hearings to a system of today of non-judicial removals where 75% of the people do not see a judge before being expelled. Under today's removal system, only 1/4 of all people facing expulsion get to present their case before an immigration judge. The administration has prioritized speed over fairness in the removal system, sacrificing individualized due process in the pursuit of record removal numbers. Now, the part I forgot was it's not the Trump administration. This was about the Obama administration. My point is we've had a lot of, the ACLU ended up suing the Obama administration over the way that they handled removal of people from the country. But we've never had this type of rhetoric. We've never had the number of people that we are dealing with now because of the vast 22 million people that crossed the border during the Biden administration. We've got everybody yelling and screaming and whipping up people on both sides of the aisle. And I think as leaders, since we're not the ones out there protesting, as leaders, we need to urge the other leaders to scale it down. And what boggled my mind over the weekend was maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but I had heard that President Trump had talked to Governor Walz, and they had, for the first time, tried to come to an agreement where Minnesota's going to turn over the violent offenders that I thought everybody agreed we wanted out of the country, and they're going to, and then after that happens, work on everything else. And I can't believe that we've gone through this for about a year and that hasn't been done in every single state and every single country. I thought everybody agreed. That was something we agreed on. Let's do that first and get it done. And then we can focus on the rest of it. Instead, we've got people running around trying to get people who have committed violent crimes, and they're being impeded in doing that. So I think there's plenty of blame on both sides on this issue. But what I see in our legislative agenda is it just blames one side, as usual, which is my whole big thing, my whole big rant about a few months ago when we were talking about ICE in this area. So it's always better, I think, if you're going to try and get compromise, you're going to try and get people working together to see both sides of the coin and recognize that everybody's got a problem and everybody needs to shape up.
I just would like to say that I don't believe this is a partisan issue. I believe this is a humanitarian issue. And for us to send this message to Washington, D.C. is simply saying, we do not want our government killing innocent people. It's not a debate. It's a humanitarian issue. Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's important to note that while President Trump was discussing with the mayor and the governor, Attorney General Bondi has sent a message to Minnesota looking for their voter rolls, okay? They're looking for all sorts of benefit issues, even though Minnesota has been proven to be dealing with their fraud issues, et cetera, for public funding. So there's a whole other issue going on here. And the other point, too, is that during the Obama administration and also the Clinton administration and the Bush administration, there have been many removals of people who are here without documentation. However, we have not seen basically troops in the streets masked and armed, and that's what's happening here. And there have been 2 deaths in the last 18 days in Minnesota. And why Minnesota? It turns out there's about 150,000 undocumented in Minnesota. There are over 1 million in Texas, over 1 million in Florida. So why are we not having this type of effort going on there? There are 3,000 ICE in Minneapolis right now. Their police force is 600. Okay, so that's what we're seeing here. So I think it's really important to understand that this is a completely different inflection of history. And I believe that we need to call this out, and they can bifurcate, and we need to stand up about this because people are dying needlessly and they are dying for using their First Amendment right to free speech or to protect a neighbor. And that's what happened to the gentleman on Saturday morning.
Okay,
So we need to stand with this, and
okay.
I will be in support.
Okay, so I would say that history will judge past administrations. We today have the responsibility to hold accountable our current administration. Roll call, please.
Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay. Member Cahill. Member Childers. Member Covert. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Member Honig.
Yes.
Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Member Martinez. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. And Member Tornatori.
Okay, and now I'd like to move to approve LEG R0002-26, the resolution adopting the county's 2026 federal legislative program as amended.
Okay, Member Krajewski.
Just, again, the federal bill, I know this is one of the priorities for the majority of the board is low-income housing. You know, I know the big, beautiful bill that was passed in July increased the allocation, 12% for low-income housing, which will try to help incentivize more affordable housing. But for the last couple of years, they've been discussing in Washington, they haven't got any legislation yet, but mid-level workforce housing, and it's, the discussions have gone around legislation regarding middle-income housing tax credits, specifically targeting the workforce, which is what we hear a lot of here in DuPage and what some of our two DuPage board members. It's the middle housing credit, so I would like to see us maybe, we don't throw something in there, eventually throw something in there, but ask Washington to look at these mid-level tax credits, which is expanding the low income, but it's more for workforce and for some of what I hear a lot of people talk about in DuPage, that, their kids can't find a house and, they're a nurse or they're a teacher or they're a firefighter. But I think these mid-level credits, if they do come to fruition, and there's a lot of discussion on both sides of the aisle, that I think that would help what we're trying to accomplish with affordable housing in DuPage.
Okay, Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This legislative agenda, I know people think they're doing a lot, but, I'd like to challenge my colleagues on the Democratic side. We have all Democratic congressmen in DuPage County. I'm sure most of you have their cell phone numbers in your phone. Why aren't we having a congressional hearing here in this boardroom to talk about what's going on in DuPage County and how it's affecting immigration? Have a debate about it. Not a debate, but a talk about it and bring our feelings forward. It's something to put on paper. It's actually a different thing to ask them to come here and talk about a topic that's affecting our county. We've had them here for the CRC and other good stuff, but when the time is right, this is the time that we should be asking them to come and hear their feelings and hear our feelings, just not on a piece of paper and a legislative agenda that's filled with 17 pages of different things. But let's actually open a debate. Let's be leaders. Let's talk about it. They've had them in the city of Chicago. Why isn't the second largest county here in DuPage done that? I unfortunately can't do that. I don't think they'll listen to me, but I hope they'll listen to some of you, and we do that not down the road, but in the near future here at the county.
I'd be very happy to bring in Congress folks and have a conversation. I don't think that's an issue. But if I might be so bold as to encourage some of our Republican colleagues to reach out to their Republican congressional folks. Darren LaHood seems to have seen the light of day. The president isn't going to listen to the Democrats. Just something to think about. Member Ozog.
I believe sometime in the past 7 to 10 days, our Congressman Sean Casten was in Denmark trying to calm the waters because of the president's desire to purchase Greenland. So there's other issues going on.
Okay, I think, we could do this all day long, but I think it's time to take a vote. So roll call, please.
Member Desart. Aye. Member Eckhoff. Member Evans. Member Galassi. No. Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Heather. Yes. Member Honig. Aye. Member Krajewski. Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Member Martinez. Member Ozog.
Aye.
Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. No. Member Yu.
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? And Member Covert?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Member Desart. And we'll move on to Public Works and Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on PWR 226, the amendment to the county, which has been renewed via resolution issued to Camara Water Solutions for liquid ferric chloride for the Knollwood wastewater treatment plant for a change order to decrease the contract price from $2.59 a gallon delivered to $2.52 a gallon delivered, a decrease of 2.8%.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Childress?
Yes.
Member Covert? Member Desart? Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante?
Aye.
Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? And Member Cahill.
Okay. Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on PWP 326 on the recommendation for the approval of an agreement to Trotter and Associates for a design of and construction of professional engineering services for the public works for a period of January 27, 2026 through December 31, 2030 for a total contract amount not to exceed $792,899.
Okay. Leave is granted. Vice Chair. Thank you, Vice Chair Childress. Okay, Stormwater and Member Zay.
No report, Madam Chair.
Okay. Technology and Member Colbert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on TE-CO-1-26, amendment to purchase order 6834 serve issued to SHI International Corp. Inc. for the annual licensing of the Zendesk customer service solution and annual subscription for information technology, GIS, and DuPage County Health Department to increase the contract in the amount of $34,588.80, resulting in an amended contract total amount not to exceed $604,321.88.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Member Covert?
Aye.
Member Desart? Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? And Member Childress.
Okay. Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on TE-P-1-26, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Excella Inc. for managed application services to provide support with permitting software for the Building and Zoning Transportation, Stormwater and Public Works Department for the period of February 21st, 2026 through February 20th, 2027 for a contract total not to exceed $203,674.38, exempt from bidding, not suitable for competitive bids.
Leave is granted. Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on TE-P-2-26, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. to provide maintenance and technical support for the county's enterprise GIS software for information technology GIS division for the period of March 9th, 2026 through March 8th, 2027 for a total contract amount of $206,595, not suitable for competitive bids.
Okay. Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Covert.
Thank you.
Transportation and Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oops, wrong page. Thank you. I move for approval of 260176, amendment to resolution DTP 1723, issued to Fastenal Company to furnish and deliver maintenance, repair, and operating supplies as needed for the Division of Transportation to increase the encumbrance in the amount of $20,000, resulting in an amended contract total amount of $95,000.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Member Ozog?
Aye.
Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? Member Cahill? Member Childress? Member Covert? Member Desart? Member Eckhoff, Member Evans, Member Galassi, Member Garcia, Member Heather, Member Honig, Member Krajewski, Member LaPlante, and Member Martinez.
Okay, Member Ozog.
I'm sorry.
Member Ozog.
Okay, thank you. I move for approval of DTR 126, awarding resolution issued to Clean Cut Tree Service Incorporated for the 2026 tree removal project for advanced work for various planned transportation projects, Section 23 Tree 05 LS, for an estimated county cost of $74,470 per lowest responsible bid.
Okay, is there any discussion? Member Krajewski? No? Okay. Then leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to old business. Do any members have any old business to discuss? Okay, Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move on 26-440, the motion to reconsider denial of DCO 426, a request variation for DuPage County zoning ordinance to permit video gaming terminal establishments within 1,000 feet of a place of assembly and daycare and within 1,000 feet of video gaming, cafe, restaurant / video gaming establishment.
Okay, now we have plenty of questions. Does anybody? Okay, Member Dessert.
Thank you. Also, I seconded it, by the way.
Okay.
So I'd like to thank Development Chair Tornatore for putting this back on. I asked him to reconsider or put this on for reconsidering, and I did that because information I learned after the vote 2 weeks ago. I learned that I weighed heavily on the fact that there was a daycare within proximity of this business, and then I learned that the daycare came in after, or I'm sorry, before. Wait.
After.
The daycare came in after this business was here. So, I mean, if the daycare didn't care that this business was here, then I shouldn't have weighed it so heavily in my decision. Thank you.
Okay. Member Covert was next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did receive the letter. One question since the daycare issue came up. Do you know how long after the building was, when did the daycare open?
Sam?
I'm going to defer to Paul on any actual questions.
Sure.
What year was the daycare open, and did the business owners object to that daycare being open and interfering with their business at the time, and was their gaming business in operation?
The daycare center operated in 2019. So the daycare center was chartered by DCFS and also got a permit from the county health department, and it was established in 2019.
2018. And was this when the Bistro Lucky 7 was a grocery store?
So we're not talking about Lucky 7, we're talking about SMN, which is
got it.
Angelo's.
Angelo's food store. Okay. All right.
Member Eckhoff?
Could you specify the location of this? Because I think
So-
some of the residents think it's down on Park Avenue. And
Angelo's SMN that you're discussing about reconsidering is at the northeast corner of Belmont and Maple and unincorporated Downers Grove.
And wasn't there another place that asked for the same thing across the street or something?
Not yet. They're not before zoning yet. There's a 7-Eleven that is to the west of this that is not before this committee right now. It's gone through development committee and
I thought we had something that was like right next door across the street from this 2 weeks ago.
There's another facility, but they have not come in for zoning relief yet.
Okay, and just keep in mind, we're not voting. We're voting to reconsider this. We're not voting on this. Okay, so Member Krajewski? Okay, somebody had their hand up? No? Nobody? Oh, Member Covert again?
Sorry, just really quick. This was fully discussed at the development committee meeting, so I feel like it has been discussed. That's all I want to say. And I don't know why it's back on again.
Okay, and I think there's a lot more information that board members have gotten, and go ahead.
With regards to this item, your county board rules say that this is brought up for a motion to reconsider. You are voting on whether or not you want to reconsider it. And if that motion is successful, it will be placed on the agenda next time for the actual vote on the variance.
So this is according to Robert's rules. We have to follow this process to do that. Member Ozog.
Thank you. This question is for Mr. Bruckner. Don't we have to only look at what was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals or not approved? We have to stick with the evidence that the board heard before the Development Committee, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
So any new information really wouldn't be allowed in the discussion. Is that correct? I mean, for instance, can you clarify question, where is the daycare located? What information is allowed to be clarified?
I don't know what was brought up during the initial hearings. I was not there, so I don't know what was or was not. Mr. Tornatori might be more familiar with that.
Member Evans, did you have something? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will admit that I wish to have changed my vote because I watched the meeting on the video, but I was not there in the Development Committee to ask questions. And so even though I asked some questions during the county board meeting, I think I should have been more careful in reading about the history of this Zoning Board of Appeals application. And I think that all of us probably could use a little bit more information. Going through a thorough history, I did talk extensively with Paul Haas about this particular property in addition to Lucky 7 Bistro. So I would just like another opportunity for all of us to take some more time and look through the entire agenda item and have more time to ask questions of Paul. If we need any more clarifications, we can ask Paul questions, ask the state's attorney questions. So I will be voting yes for the motion to reconsider. If anybody wants to keep their vote, they can still vote the same way. But had I done this research before the last county board meeting, I would have voted yes.
Okay. Member Dessart.
So, Member Evans, are you advocating to, what's the term, to recall the Lucky 7 vote as well? Okay.
Let's do one thing at a time here. We're doing one thing at a time.
Okay.
Okay, Member Krajewski.
Yeah, I made a comment at the committee board meeting because the actual transcripts, as Member Ozog brought up, I always go back to read the actual transcript because they are subscriber there to see what was actually put in evidence. We don't have those attached to the information when it comes to our development committee. I was shown where to go find those, but I would routinely on some of these controversial ones would ask for the transcripts of the actual zoning hearing and read word for word exactly what was put in evidence and what wasn't and make a decision. So I think that stuff was in evidence. I think there was some misinformation given at the board meeting when it was on the timing of when it was. Maybe some people relied on that, I don't know, but the transcripts are actually the only thing you can rely on is what was given at the ZBA hearing. And those are word for word verbatim. They have a transcriber there. So those are what, if you really want to know what happened, what evidence is in, you go read that.
Okay. I think we need to make sure all the board members get that information, please. And I think it's also important that board members understand that there are some state laws that we have to abide by, whether we like them or not, when we're making some of these decisions. So that comes into play too, unless, of course, we want to get sued. So something to consider. So where are we at? What are we doing now? Motion to reconsider. Do we need a roll call or how do we do that? Okay, we need a roll call, please.
Member Childress?
Yes.
Member Covert?
No.
Member Dessart? Member Eckhoff? Member Evans? Member Galassi? Member Garcia? Member Heather? Member Honig? Member Krajewski? Member LaPlante? Member Martinez? Member Ozog? Member Schwarzy? Member Tornatori? Member Yu?
Aye.
Member Zay? And Member Cahill.
Okay. That was one, old business. Does anybody else have anything? Member Zay?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You know, after our last meeting, there was a lot of questions about the progress of the investigation with the Attorney General, with the clerk. Have we heard anything since then? I know there was some news articles that spur anything on.
Unfortunately, I wish I could give you an answer. I wish I could make a phone call. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. We are at the mercy of the Attorney General. It's not something where we can just call and say, hey, can you hurry this up? I hope they understand the importance of this, but unfortunately, we can't, it doesn't matter who's in that office, we can't make those calls.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it seems to be not going anywhere, I mean, the other option would be to call the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago and see if they can investigate this, because it's obviously has to do with federal elections too. So, I mean, that might be our next option if we don't hear anything, pretty soon, since we're coming up to early voting and an election here in March. So,
Okay, I think we all feel your frustration for sure. Member Krajewski.
I want to thank the residents that come out today and made their comments. One is we hear stuff from the residents. I'm not sure they always have the right information. Again, the video gaming started in 2010 by the state legislature, so that was the primary spot to start with. They're the ones that approved it. As you just mentioned, we sometimes have to follow state law. This county resisted for a number of years. I think voted a couple of times, 2010, maybe around 14, 17. No. But eventually all of our surrounding municipalities, or many of them, most of DuPage has approved them. The county finally did it. I think I heard one gentleman say Lombard twice today, but Lombard's had video gaming for 5 or 6 years. They got 61 machines and 11 establishments. They actually had a citizen referendum that actually passed in Lombard. I know we have a Lombard trustee up there nodding his head, but they actually supported it, the Lombard residents, and it is 10%. The gentleman said there was a 10%, 25%, but Lombard took in last year, 2025, all the machines, $42 million, $38 million was paid out in winnings, $4 million, so it was 10%, just slightly under 10%. And all that data is out there. You can see which towns have it. I also heard something about cannabis too. The same thing, state legislator put it in. Actually, the Village of Glen Ellen had an advisory referendum that passed. They didn't go forward with it, but they had an advisory. Their residents are asking for it. And that's some of the stuff that us county board members have been getting for years when down in District 3, where we have Willowbrook, Dairy, and Woodridge all have it, but right across the street is an establishment that says, why can't we have it when all the ones in the municipalities next door, and I think Member Zay has that up, same thing up in District 6. Also with data centers, I know we had a lot of talk about data centers. I'm not sure we're ever going to see a data center in unincorporated DuPage. They're coming into the municipality, so we don't necessarily have a lot to do with data centers or can really do much. But if there's specific ones coming up, you may want to work with DuPage mayors or the specific municipalities, because that's where they're going. They're not coming to unincorporated DuPage because they're using a lot of office space buildings and conversions, which we just don't have in the unincorporated area. But just to help the residents that come here, to let them know where they can go and address some of these issues. But if you get the state legislature to overturn the video gaming and get rid of the cannabis, that'll solve the problem.
Good luck with that. Member Covert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to kind of go off with what Member Krajewski is saying, I just, we work so hard at the county to work on mental health and addiction problems. I don't see how gaming facilities alleviate that problem or help with that. And I feel that it creates poverty in areas. It creates, it attracts people with addictions, and it just makes it worse. And I feel like with all these gaming facilities opening up, popping up everywhere, it is everywhere, and it is near schools, and neighborhoods don't like it. We just heard from our public, from the neighborhood, they have children that could just walk over there. And if we're trying to alleviate the problem of addiction and mental health and all that, gaming facilities do not help with that. We have a casino. It's Harrah's Casino. Anybody could go there. But there's no reason where it has to pop up everywhere. I just don't want to kick a can down the road, or I don't want to be in a situation where we have to put a Band-Aid on the problem later. So that's why I've been opposed to it. I'm not going to decide on the legal stuff. I'm not a judge, but I am a public servant, and I am here for the people. And I've heard the gallery, I've heard neighbors from this neighborhood, and I've talked to many people in my district and other districts that are opposed to this. And as a mother of 3 children, I wouldn't want my kids living near a gaming facility either. They're young, but I don't want them to learn that. So thank you.
Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. And not, I'm not talking about the gambling. I'm talking going back to the legislative and ICE.
Why?
Sorry. What happened this weekend was a tragedy, but what's been happening is a tragedy. The way that the ICE is behaving in terms of how they're, when we've got little children and little hats being used as decoys to go get their fathers. I mean, their methods are wrong, and I really am frustrated because I feel like the Democrats on this board can say it as much and as loud as they want. But until the Republicans on this board say that's enough, we need to rethink how we're doing this in our country. This is not what we need to be doing in our country in terms of how we're treating our citizens who are being arrested for absolutely no reason, who are being hurt or murdered for absolutely no reason. We have to all come out as elected officials, and I know that Member Eckhoff said that we need to come together to take the rhetoric down, but we have to actually come out with a strong statement, quite honestly, against ICE and the methods that they have. Because if we don't do that as all the elected officials, as one body here, I think that it's just going to get poo-pooed as we're a blue state, and what do we talk about? This is a humanitarian issue. This is not left, this is not right, this is not progressive, this is not conservative. This is right and this is wrong. And at some point, you're going to have to look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to have to say, what did I stand up for? I have a daughter that lives in Minnesota. She's 37 years old. I have 2 grandchildren that live there. They go into the Twin Cities. My gut is punched every single time something's happening in Minnesota, and I have to go back to Mary Ozog's, Member Ozog's statement. There's only 130,000 supposedly people there, and they're got their people. Now, I think they're pulling out today, finally, I think, but that's after were caught doing things that are so horrific and and then they actually asked for the voter data, which I've been saying now for a long time that they were going to come after. So I just have to say, we just have to stand strong together as all elected officials and say that this is wrong. That's it.
Okay. Member Honig.
I just want to also echo what Member Garcia said. I really don't know how you can we all have phones, we all have social media, we all have the news. I don't know how you can look and see those videos of Renee Good and Alex Preddy getting murdered in cold blood and not have a pit in your stomach. I mean, we're all a brother, a sister, a father. We have family members. That could have easily been your family member. We've seen, we talk about, impending ICE or, aggressing ICE. Watch the videos. It's like we're denying things that are right in front of us. That's fine. We could, disagree on our opinions, but, just having some shared humanity, in my opinion, as a board, as a collective board, saying that the things that have happened in Minnesota are absolutely horrific. And it wasn't long ago that this happened, not to that extent, but in many aspects was horrifying to many of our residents in all our districts. This is not an opinion. That is exactly what happened. We heard accounts from Member Martinez. We heard accounts from Member Schwarzy, myself. All of us have talked about all the community leaders. We had a room filled of people concerned about what has been going on. There are people screaming from the rooftops. There are people that are too afraid to step out of their house. And we talk about food insecurity, affordable housing, all these things. A lot of the immigrant community can't even get that because they're afraid of getting killed. And you know what?
Okay. I think we got your message, and we certainly understand what you're saying. People are very angry. People are very passionate about this, as they should be. But we need to be very careful about making things worse instead of making them better. I think what we have put into our the amendment into our state legislative agenda sends a message. I think that's very important.
I hope so.
Okay, Member Dessert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The reason I raised my hand was I heard some of my colleagues talk about how they'd like to talk to our legislators, and I wanted to remind everybody that we have a legislative breakfast coming up this Thursday at Arrowhead, so come to the breakfast and you'll be able to talk to some of our legislators. But then when I heard Member Covert passionately talk about gambling, I agree with her on every single issue. I totally agree with you, Sadia. I am against gambling. I am shocked that at my Chinese restaurant, you go in now and pick up a to-go order, and they have video gambling there now. Gambling is all over, and I hate it. I went to Vegas a couple of times for conferences, and I didn't gamble at all because it sickens me. I hate gambling, but as a public servant, I was elected by gamblers, not gamblers, people who want to open gambling facilities. I mean, I can't let my own bias reflect my votes. And, I have to be guided by Paul and zoning and all of that and not let my own biases. That's what I had to say. I can't let my own biases dictate how I vote on any issue. Thank you.
Okay, well said. Member Tonatori.
Thanks, Madam Chair. First, regarding the zoning issue, I think it's important for everybody to understand that the motion to reconsider today was on a business that existed and that had a gaming license prior to us changing the rules. It would be like driving on the tollway at 60 miles an hour when the speed limit was 65, and then instantly having the legislature change the speed limit to 50 and giving a ticket to the person who was driving. You can't do that. And that's what the motion to reconsider essentially will allow us to discuss in the future at development committees and otherwise. So I think it's important that we understand that these were going concerns, and there are others as well that we're going to have to deal with somewhere down the road. I didn't want to get into this because, quite frankly, I have immigration fatigue. And I do have a pit in my stomach when I see what's going on in Minnesota. But I also, and Paula, I love you, but I have a pit in my stomach when I think, and I hope, you are not suggesting that every Republican on this board agrees with what happened in Minnesota, because we don't. And I voted against what was on that agenda because if you would have said, let's not give funding to ICE, I would have said, hell yes. But I don't know how you can do it to Homeland Security and everything else that keeps us safe. And honestly, who's going to listen? But you know what? Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. But please, let's not, I know it's election time. And my support. But the reality here is that let's not fraction ourselves over something that, number one, we have very little, if any, control over, and you really don't know how people feel. Nobody likes to see killings. Nobody likes to see executions. But just because you're a Republican doesn't mean you agree with it. So I'm offended. That's all I got to say.
Well, I would say amen to that because, again, I want to, emphasize to all of you, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is a humanitarian issue. This is about lives. So please don't presume people feel a certain way because that also is not fair. Member Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Back to the topic of the Zoning Board of Appeals, I would like to make a motion to reconsider DCO-6-26 for Lucky 7 Bistro. This is also a situation where, I didn't realize that, if you were going to say something, but I didn't realize that the 1,000 feet within another gambling establishment was for a gambling establishment in the city of Addison, village of Addison, where they don't have any kind of rules against the 1,000 feet. So, and the owner is here, and he did his due diligence. It really was a situation where it was just maybe some miscommunications, but it really, I think they did make their case, and I regret voting no last time, and I would like just a chance to reconsider. Thank you.
Okay. I would agree with that. Member Covert?
Before we vote on this, I just wanted to address.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a second before we talk. Do we have a second? Okay. We have 2 seconds. Go ahead, Member
I just
Covert.
wanted to address Member Dessart's comments. I was directed towards me. I appreciate that, Member Dessart. I understand. But I just want to clarify for everybody that I'm not operating on the basis of bias. I don't like cannabis either. I've never smoked marijuana in my life. However, I did have the Cannabis Initiative back in 2019. So that was not based on bias. This gaming situation is based on the effects it has on society. It's based on facts, and that's what I'm speaking to. Regarding the Lucky Penny or Lucky 7 gaming facility that we have that we're about to do a motion to reconsider on, this is what I'm talking about. They're not in compliance with the 1,000 feet rule. They built their facility. They used to be a grocery store, converted it over to a gaming facility. They had built their building and applied for the gaming license after.
Okay, Member Covert, why don't we let Nick explain this so that we get the facts?
Okay, I'm just saying the facts are in the letter. I mean, I
Well,
read
no,
the
no,
letter.
this is
So-
more how it's going to work. So the other one you guys could vote on, and it's going to be on next time because it was on the agenda. This one, it was not on the agenda, but you did bring it up at the meeting immediately following. So we're going to continue this to next, because now we'll put this one on the agenda. Just a legal procedural issue. You've met your requirement to bring it up immediately following. And as I look at it, who was the person who made the motion for this one? Yeah, you were on the prevailing side, so you brought it up. It will be continued, and the same item you saw on the agenda today for the other one will be on next week. We'll be able, or next 2 weeks. You'll be able to talk and vote on the one that was on the agenda, and it's my understanding then this one, you would have the same thing, motion to reconsider in 2 weeks, and then you could bring it up for a vote then. So you're 4 weeks out. So I just want to say, from a standpoint, since it wasn't listed, that's how we've got to do this one. Did I say that correctly legally?
Yes, that's the procedure.
Okay. Anybody else? So we need to do a roll call on this? There's no roll call, so we seconded it, so then it'll be on, okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else in old business? Did I miss anybody? Okay, let's move on to new business. Anybody in new business? Member Kaczewski.
2 quick things. Thank you for bringing up that about the opioid settlement. But I think we should also look at a discussion where we have the cannabis sales tax also go to fund the CRC. That's part and parcel, I think. And then, the RTA tax many years ago, predates me, but was put in supposed to be for public safety and roads. The county took it all for public safety at the time and not very much for roads. So once you start allocating it somewhere, you don't get it back. So I would think we should look at discussing that, assuming our sales tax goes forward. And there's one other thing, the press release is just going out, if it hasn't gone out already. The World Aquatic Swimming Short course is taking place, the World Aquatic Games in Beijing, China. 200 countries, 1,000 world-class athletes are coming for 6 days in December. The U.S. team just announced they'll have their qualifiers at the Westmont Auditorium October 28th through the 31st. So they will all come there to qualify to represent the United States in the World Games. So that's coming out or just got released on October 28th. And again, the Village of Westmont and Auditorium is not going to come to us asking for anything. They're on. They know how to work that now. They're working hand in hand with them. A little bit of money that we helped out from an economic standpoint. Westmont's taking it over from there and are going to work directly with the auditorium. But that was a great announcement that the mayor just informed me of, and Mary Ann over at the World Games. We'll have a bunch of travelers come in to watch the world team compete, and whoever wins gets to represent the United States in Beijing.
That's exciting. Okay, anybody else? A new business? No? Okay. Let's see. So no old Ms. Okay, we do not have anything to bring us into executive session. Oh, okay. All right, then. I'll take the motion. Got the motion. All in favor? This meeting is adjourned till Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 10 a.m.